epic journeyman. Are you there?
I am here.
Excellent. Hey, well, we're just not gonna waste any time tonight. We're gonna get right down to business, and the messages are flying in, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Jimmy. I'm your friendly announcer. There's the epic journeyman over on Speculation Island. Epic, how's the weather on the islands today, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. I got to hike around a bit today at work, mind you. It doesn't get better than that.
No, it doesn't. I mean, you're getting paid. You're hanging out. I mean, what else? I mean, what do you want? I mean, that's like the best of all worlds. Rock and Rio, are you there? We're not playing games tonight, Jack. Are you there, brother?
I am here.
Excellent. Well, let's get. We don't have much time. We always have more show than we have time. And I don't have time to find the window with all your guys' intros in there. So we're just gonna say, hey, what's up, Rio? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man.
Excellent.
It was finally a beautiful day over here on the East Coast.
Fantastic. Well,
Got rid of all that rain and wind.
Did you get a chance to take out one of those classic cars that you're so pleasantly working on every day? One of those 65.5 Mustangs. You pop the top down. You go down to White Castle, get yourself a couple of burgers. What were you doing today, man?
Mustang. I was on a 66 Mustang for most of the day. The only thing I actually drove today was the Model A. I drove it out into the parking lot and back in the building.
The Model A. Wow.
Yeah, 1930 Model A.
That is absolutely. How fast do those things go?
About 35 top speed.
Well, guess what, man? The only intro there is the one that matters, and that's this one.
The way she looks, it shocks me. Standing at the door that leads below. There's a light at the end of the hall. Can I reach it before I fall? She's unusual. So unusual.
The mistress of the door that leads below to the underground, to the alternative. Miss Danny,
Arr.
are you there?
I am there.
Excellent. Well, listen, tonight,
Most excellent.
tonight is the night that we magnify the panopticon concept, because we're living in a society, ladies and gentlemen, where pretty much 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, we are under complete and total surveillance. The
Yeah.
question is what and who are surveilling? Are these the butt sniffers down at the local market?
Or the butt photographers
Or the
in
butt-
China.
There you go. But no, the butt sniffers, they want to know what you're doing because they want to know when you're about to buy something.
Yeah.
So they know if they know you just went down to the local cannabis retail outlet, they know you're pretty soon you're going to be wanting something to eat. So they want to send you something over on your phone. I mean,
You might want some Funyuns.
it's natural. It's natural. Well, we have a super good friend of mine, and we've been friends for a few years now, 3-4 years, and he is a regular contributor to the Kev Baker Show on many levels, but he is a regular visitor every Thursday at 2 o'clock Pacific with Kev Baker, but then every Friday, and they are always up in the top 10 on TalkStream Live, and that is Freaky Friday, man. And they get it.
Freaky. Yeah.
I know, it's freaky. And I'll tell you, they have a good time over there, and he's a super good bud, and so is Kev Baker. And I want to say shout out to Kev Baker. And without further ado, Scotty Lopez, are you there?
Yo, what's up, man?
What's happening, man? Good to have you, bro. How's it going?
I'm doing good. It's great to be back, and this actually is not the first time that me and Jimmy have taken to the airwaves on his show. We did a what was it, like a 3-part series or
Yeah, we
something like
did.
that?
Yeah, we did, and that was when we had the original tape of Timothy Leary saying, thanking the CIA for starting or paying for funding the counterculture. But we were the first.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that when we did those shows, that we did that series of shows on Trump is Nixon. I know we were the first ones out to trot that one out onto the field. I mean, subsequently, it became a big topic. But you know, when we were talking about it, man, we were really looking at those. We were really looking at what's going on with Nixon and how similar it was to the whole Trump candidacy. And then, of course, you had the old Roger Stone angle, which is the bagman for Nixon. And there you got the connection. If you're playing
Yeah.
what's the connection, you know. So
Exactly. I mean, we were breaking down a lot of that stuff back in the day before a lot of people kind of,
I
you
know.
know, before that really kind of caught wind on a lot of people.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're talking about spy tech tonight, and I just want to mention that one of the things is that you were the first person that I ever heard of to bring up LifeLog and bring it out and trot that out onto the field for people to take a look at, because LifeLog was something that existed before Facebook. And, you know, subsequently, since you originally covered it, I mean, other people have gotten a hold of it, but I know for a fact, man, and there was no one really talking about that before you. And hats off. And why don't you tell people, because a lot of people may not know what LifeLog was. Why don't you tell people a little bit about LifeLog, Scotty?
Okay, so LifeLog was a Pentagon and DARPA sort of experiment, if you will, where they were wanting to form a social network. I don't think that they called it a social network at the time, but essentially they wanted to create a website or something online that would allow people to log every aspect of their life, right? And they wanted everything from, you know, where they're going, what they're doing, how they're feeling, everything like that. They wanted to log, and they called the project LifeLog, you know, and they ran this for a couple years, I guess, as this experiment. But very, very coincidentally, the very same day that the Pentagon and DARPA decided to shut down LifeLog, that you know, they no longer were conducting this experiment, the exact same day, a little social media website that we know as Facebook launched. Very coincidentally, on that same day.
What a coincidence, man. Wow.
Yeah.
That-
It's almost like it was prepared and ready to go, and that somebody may have just somebody didn't really develop this in his dorm room in college, and
No.
that
yeah.
rolled
Isn't
this
that how
out.
all of those things kind of go?
Yeah,
What'd,
yeah.
What'd you say, Danny? That's how those
Isn't
things.
that how all of those things kind of go?
Yeah.
Everything's ready to go, you know.
Well, of
The
course.
solution to all the problems.
All they're looking for is they're looking for a front man to run out there like a rag doll. Is some guy that's the head of the company or whatever. He's ciphering in his backyard, sitting on the stool with a piece of paper in one hand, a pencil in the other hand, and he's ciphering out the quantum connections of the angle of the dangle. And next thing you know, boom.
Does he also smoke meats and appreciate Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce?
He might. He may.
He might.
He may
He
smoke.
might do that.
Smoking meat is always a good.
Smoking the meats, yes.
Smoking meat is always a good, healthy breakfast for anybody, or you know, anytime. I mean, smoking meat, it's really good any time of the day or night, isn't it? You can wash it down with a little milk, you know, milk. Everybody, what was the saying for milk? Do you remember? It does a body good.
Yeah,
Got
does it-
milk?
Epic Journeyman, Rock and Rio, are you there? Because here's Scotty, and he's here. You guys haven't seen him. Rio, you haven't seen Scotty in a bit. And Epic Journeyman, this is
Yeah,
your
it's
first
been a
time
while.
actually on air with Scott. Why don't you guys come on and say hello? Let's get this ball rolling down the line, man. We don't have much time, and like I said, time is of the essence. But come on in and say hello. Let's get the ball rolling. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Well, hello, Scotty. Yeah, it's one of those things that set the ball rolling for a lot of people, that LifeLog thing, because it really was this example. And when you read the paperwork of them wanting, the scientists involved, wanting to document every little second and ideally every thought that anyone ever had their entire life. So if you wanted to roll it back to August 4th, 2003, and you were looking at the newspaper thinking about buying a new car, they want to be able to have that kind of ability, that kind of granularity to go back and look at that. And they were really disappointed that it got canceled. Well, what's funny about it is even the scientists involved said, well, they never stopped. Right? Well, why didn't they stop? Right? It's because they had a platform to go to. And part of this, it really makes you wonder what's going on behind the scenes in that big building over there where Sun Microsystems used to be, that now is the home of Facebook.
Yeah, very interesting indeed. And
I was in the first 300 employees at Sun Microsystems. I used to ship systems with Scott McNeely on Friday when we'd have our beer busts. We'd all go over there and put the machines into the boxes and ship them out. And back then, they only had one building. One building. And then they literally became the largest property owner over there on that side of near Palo Alto and Menlo Park. So Facebook is huge. And Google are... man, the messages are flying in, ladies and gentlemen. What the... what's going on? Danny, how's that chat room looking over there at Aftermath, the members only chat room over at Aftermath.fm?
I mean, it's kind of where the coolest kids hang out.
They are hanging out. What's happening with them? They got anything?
There are 48 of the coolest kids hanging out.
Well, yes. Are they throwing down with any tech in there that they want to let us know about, spy tech? Because that's what we're talking about tonight. Into the Microcosm, Aftermath.fm. Right here, the home of the counterculture. Tune in, turn on, and find out.
I mean, milk, because it does a body good.
It does a body good, and you're 100% correct, Amundio, on that. So are you guys ready to start this show?
Yeah.
Because listen, I was paranoid. I gotta admit, I did have a little fear coming in tonight because I wasn't sure if this software chunk was going to do its job, and I didn't want you guys to miss a very important. We like to do you a favor. This is Do You a Favor Thursday. And you know how we like to do you that favor? Well, we're going to do you a favor right now. Now, here's a movie that you should all see. Anyone who enjoys a little futurists, anyone who enjoys claymation, anyone who enjoys aliens, space, the final frontier, you will love this movie. It's called Futuropolis, 1984. And here's a clip from that movie. My name's Jimmy. It's in the Microcosm.
Right. Yow, my hands, he's radioactive.
Oh, something feels funny.
Captain, are you okay?
I'm okay, but look at Spud.
Oh, yucky.
Heavens.
What can we do?
Let's do something.
Hurry.
The Space Ranger handbook says to put his feet in a bucket of cold water and a damp towel on his forehead.
That won't help him.
I don't think he's a him anymore.
Let's see what the manual says about gender blur.
Oh, it's worse.
It's hopeless.
It looks like cybernetic biomechanical feedback.
But that means he's becoming homomechanistic.
That could result in total cellular implosion.
Oh my God, he's splitting into schizotrimorphic ectoplasm.
Once it reaches the primordial ooze level, the whole ship could be in danger.
They've shifted into an unstable transmutant phase.
And they look real mad.
Don't let them get on you. Oh no, they're on the console. We better get them off the control.
My name's Jimmy. It's Into the Microcosm. They've gotten onto the console, ladies and gentlemen. They're crawling all over me. I can't get... Danny, get them off of me. Get them off.
It's all in your head, Jimmy. It's all in your head.
I know. My name's Jimmy. It's Into the Microcosm. It's Aftermath.fm. Late night. This isn't your granddaddy's late night. No, this isn't even your daddy's late night. This is late night that's never existed before in the history of mankind, and you can only find it here, one place. Aftermath.fm. We're talking about spy tech. My name is Jimmy. Have you heard? It's a little bit of a company that started. It's called Capella Space. Have you heard of it? Well, let me just say, why waste time? Why waste energy? You found the place to be. Now you're going to find out about backpack-sized satellite systems that see through clouds. They see through walls. It's almost like some sort of a beast. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to find out about it right now. My name's Jimmy.
We're building satellites, we're putting them on rockets, we're launching satellites into space, but we're not a satellite company. The satellites that we're building are just a means to collect the information that we think people care about.
It enables new applications in environmental monitoring, estimating carbon in forests for climate change, and crop yields for food security.
Also, how the economy is using certain points of infrastructure, whether it's a port, whether it's a transportation node.
Anybody who has any kind of action on the planet, which really is everybody, from city planners to ocean monitoring, people who run pipelines, needs to know about what's going on.
What we want to do at Capella is opening up and making it so easy and accessible for everyone in the world to be able to utilize space.
Some people care about it on a small scale, some people care about it on a global scale. SAR from space can address both.
We enable people to make better decisions. And it really starts with data.
Most satellites, they can't see through clouds. They also can't see at nighttime. Capella's satellite, using synthetic aperture radar, can see through clouds. It can also see at nighttime. So we can collect imagery and information independent of weather and light conditions.
We can take incredibly precise measurements. We can measure millimeter scale differences, changes in a scene from space.
Because our ability to miniaturize these satellites from $1 billion school bus-sized satellite to a little tiny backpack 40 kilogram in size, we're able to launch a constellation of these satellites, and as a result, be able to monitor anywhere in the world every hour, all the time.
It's a reliable sensor. You'll get a measurement every time.
We want to open this data to everyone and democratize this type of information for our planet.
Capella has the ability to really improve the quality of life on the planet. I tell my nieces and nephews that I'm using satellites to save the world.
He tells his nieces and nephews he's using satellites to save the world. And well, I'm sure you could use the satellites to save the world. And you know, I mean, the sales pitch there is it's a good one. I mean, 21,634 people have watched that video since 2019 when it went up into the sky. And so they've been actively identifying and tagging everything on Earth at this point. I mean, it's like when somebody buys one of those labelers, you know, those P-Touch labelers. They come home and they start labeling everything. There's labels on everything. Well, that's what they've been doing with the satellite system. They've been labeling everything. And, you know, now that they can actually label the human being, because, you know, basically we put off our own individual frequencies. And so it's almost like an IP address. In other words, if I could sniff your frequency and I know what your frequency you're on, I think use a spectrum analyzer to see where you are. And then once I detect you, then I can send signals directly to you via that same frequency that you are transmitting at and receiving at. So it's an interesting concept, wouldn't you say? But before we get started, do you want to shout out the chat room real quick? Danny, if you're ready to, that's cool. If not, we can come back to it. But we could
I'm
shout.
ready.
Yeah, let's shout them out, and then don't forget we're gonna have open lines later on in the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay!
Yeah, man.
My
So
favorite.
yeah, we want to get your feeling on some of this technology that we're gonna bring to the table. Now, listen, we're building a case, okay? So I want to build my case on this platform here. I want us to start here on this platform because this satellite Capella Space platform is the one that is really gonna matter. Okay, so we're starting here with this platform, but before we get rolling on this, boys, let's let the lady take control of the chat room, and let's hear what's going on over there. Danny, go ahead.
Just some appreciation to that chat room. Okay, so 27 Roses, Ace 8010, BMH, and lots of numbers. Braids, B Stein 01, Buckeye Irish. That was a tongue twister. Chadwick Myers, Chris from the UK. I remembered again.
Nice.
Because yeah. Cigar 58, Clayton 8460, DB12, Deep Citizenry Dep, DK 11, Dow something. Do what you did and Dow something. Foxitos 0206, Freedom, GM a Ladybug, Gold Miner 48G.com. I'm assuming Haterazzi. Hey, Haterazzi, your
hey, what's up, Haterazzi?
Kind of cool. Yeah,
he's cool. That's Mr. Gates. Yeah. Mr. Gates in the house.
He's pretty cool. Yeah.
He is very cool.
Yeah. HN Fitness. Who's your daddy? And our favorite Jew. Our favorite Jew is always going to be
Mazel Tov.
Mazel Tov. and Shabbat Shalom and all that jazz. And just JTFU 101. I won't, translate. Jumper Freak 86, Lady Myers 56gmail.com. Last one 207, Massacre Moody, Mike Montavon, Mike 7171, Milk Toast, Moose Girl, whoop whoop, Nepo Rio, that Rio guy, Cheryl 63, Shifty Solos, Senior Low one. Oh, so goth. That's like, he's like so goth. He's like, oh my god, is he emo? Is that guy emo? What? Sunspots, Sweeney, Toyako, I don't know.
Man, how many people are in there?
I mean, there's a lot of people in
there. They are
there.
Swinging from the rafters in there.
It's some good stuff.
Dude,
Today
I'm about to start a wet
stuff.
t-shirt contest and a twerk contest in about 5 minutes.
Oh, who's going to win the twerk contest?
I'm not sure. And you never know. It all depends. If you got rhythm, you could make that. If you can make it slap, well, you might win. You might win.
Well, we have
We're
some
not done.
fine contestants
We have
lined up
T-Bow.
for the twerk tonight.
What'd you say? You have fine contestants? What'd you say, Rio? You got contestants?
I said I have a lot of fine contestants lined up for the twerk contest tonight. So
excellent.
Moose Girl just wants to get laid.
Hey, Moose Girl, don't worry about it. We got your back. I'll tell you
we
what.
We got you, Mama.
Don't worry about it. We'll, let me tell you something. We got you. But hey, before we get any further, before we go a little any further, because it's the top of the hour. It's Aftermath.fm. It's the place to be. You're here. It's the elusive unicorn of the alternative media into the microcosm. And where the hell else are you going to hear this little ditty by Jimmy Vaughn called Don't Need No Shackles? It's the Wolfman. Ah.
no shackles. Don't want no shackles on me. Don't want no shackles. Don't want no shackles on me. I sat down with Big Brother. Don't like those old bodies. Got the blues about my freedom. Got the blues about tyranny. I got the blues about my freedom. Got the blues about tyranny. I sat down with Big Brother and the national ID. Don't want a chip in my wallet, chip in my car. And if I want to travel, it's nobody's business how far. Don't want no shackles. Don't want no shackles.
Automatic slim. Tell razor toting Jim. Tell butcher knife toting Annie. Tell fast talking Fanny. We gonna pitch a ball down to that Union Hall. We gonna romp and tromp till midnight. We gonna fuss and fight till daylight. We gonna pitch a wang dang doodle all night long.
All night long. All night long. Or at least for another hour and a half. Isn't that how it always is, man? Dudes go, yeah, baby, all night long.
Yeah, all night long until
All
I'm done.
And then it's like 2 minutes and 35 seconds later.
Damn.
I know. You know, the thing is, the attention span is only 2 minutes and 35 seconds. It's amazing that that's pretty much how long most men find themselves in a situation. Because, I mean, you know, they get excited, Danny. You know, what are you going to do? I mean, sometimes, you know, it's been so long, they get excited. How do we get in this? How do we get in this dirty, dark wormhole? I do not know.
Do we ever leave it?
I do not know. But you know what? For me, I don't know. For some reason, this conversation always finds itself, you know, right around this area sometimes where it starts getting late. I start, you know, I get ideas.
That area, yeah.
It's Aftermath.fm. This is where the counterculture comes to hang out. Late night style, you know what I mean? And then they get faded. This is faded.
Baby, I'm wasted. All I wanna do is drive home to you, baby. I'm faded. All I wanna do is take you downtown, baby. I'm wasted. All I wanna do is drive home to you, baby. I'm faded. All I wanna do is take you downtown, baby.
Danny is the designated driver of this boat tonight. I'm the captain of this boat. You can call me Skipper. And the way we fly through information, you can call me Flipper.
Are you making fun of me, Jimmy?
Hey, mine's Jimmy.
Oh, gosh,
It's
darn it. I deserve that.
It's into the microcosm. And let me just say, we're here every Monday through Friday following the elusive Clyde Lewis with the Ground Zero team. They're over there ripping and shredding all night long, and they do it all night long. For real, when they come online, they come on board, they go online 7 o'clock, you know, and you start hearing there's no monsters in the White House.
Well, because they're in the Amazon studio in California, Jimmy.
They are. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about spy tech. Enough of this nonsense. I'm sorry that I got you dragged down into the nonsense, Danny. Scotty, Epic Journeyman, Rock and Rio. Scotty, we need more power, man. Epic Journeyman, come in here and let's get going on this. You got the first round of the salvo. Okay, let's talk about one of the ways that you could tie into this satellite system that we just brought to the table is a little something called infrasound. Let's talk a little bit about infrasound and maybe give a brief reason why you may be someone who's an expert in this particular area.
Well, the infrasound thing is coming from the Jason projects, which is a whole other subject we'll delve into a little later. But yeah, the Capella thing we were just talking about is fascinating because it's a civilian spy satellite. It's totally a civilian spy satellite. So it puts these things by being able to map things at such a high resolution and fix them in space and time at the moment it does that scan. The next time it comes around, it knows exactly how much they moved. Now, you'd say, how could that tie in to perhaps this Jason project? Well, this Jason project with the infrared spectrum is called tactical infrasound. And what it is, it's the ability to use the lowest frequencies detectable, and not only with Doppler shifts and things like that, but the disturbances in the field that surrounds the Earth, be able to detect movement. Okay, so the Capella satellite isn't doing this, but because it knows the resolution and the location of something that is mapped.
Well, let me just say
this.
Can I add in here because I want to put this out there because there's something that's used in militarily. It's called perimeter intrusion. Now they broke this out in the Fallujah fight in Iraq. Okay, now listen, this is the way that it works. What it does, ladies and gentlemen, is they put these cameras out, and these cameras circle and take a picture. They take a picture in 360-degree pictures. They take these pictures 360 degrees, and what they do and how they detect intrusion into the perimeter is that the picture itself that they took changes. There wasn't a guy standing there before. Now there is a millisecond or two later. That's how quick they can find it. Go ahead, Epic Journeyman. Expand more on the satellite system, on the infrasound, and how this can all tie together to make one giant smart city. Go ahead.
No, I think you brought that up in the right perspective. So that's right. So in other words, this Capella satellite isn't just an infrasound, but it knows the location accurately within 2 feet. They say millimeters, but let's just say 2 feet of anything that's mapped already in space. So that chair that's out on the patio at some French cafe, it knows exactly where that chair is. And if it passes next time that chair moves, it knows where it moved to. And if you left a virtual object on that table, it knows where that object is mapped in time and space. And the next time it comes by, that table's moved, it's going to change the location. Well, what about these other things, how they link together? I mean, so people don't think about that in the average workspace or even in a commercial application, but the intelligence industry does. They call it an industry because it really is an industry. And so when you look at it from that sense, well, now that that disturbance in the force, so to speak, right, is the field of the Earth, the Schumann resonance, whatever it may be, that uses this background radiation to actually get locations from the resonant, I won't say frequency, but the resonance that highlights these objects. Right, so that takes time, though. It takes time. Like it may take 12 hours to scan a truck, but you can get a pretty good picture of what's inside that truck just from that, right? If you have the technology to read filter it. Well, when you look at it from a extremely low frequency, it's able to detect things move from up to 1,000 miles away. Yeah, right. So it's a small Doppler shift, but the lower the frequency, rather, the longer it travels. But if you have these combinations of all these technologies meeting together, where you know the location of something optically scanned, you know it in the infrared spectrum, you know it in the radar spectrum, the X-ray spectrum, and now you see something move in a Doppler shift in the acoustic spectrum, in the extremely low frequency band. They talk about an adjacent project from 20 hertz to 100 hertz, but it's really a factor of 10 smaller than that. It's actually, we're talking 2 hertz to 10 hertz band, right? Really, really small, and sub 20 hertz. And it uses the actual resonance of the Earth as its conductor.
Well,
right? So
and people don't. So listen, after 9/11, all these companies that were just sitting there with all this technology with nowhere to use it because I mean nobody was really scanning anybody's underwear when they went on a trip, and nobody was feeling up grandma to make sure she wasn't stashing nothing in her bra, making her cry, making little girls cry, taking them in the room, make them take their clothes off. Before that was all okay. This whole industry developed just like the private prison industry developed, prison for profit industry developed, right around the same time. But basically, these companies, these scanning companies, these security companies, these things, these perimeter intrusion devices that I was just talking about. I mean, those were military. That was top secret military stuff, 15 years ago or whatever, whenever it was happening, the Fallujah thing. But it's nothing now. Anybody, you can probably set one up. And now you can. I mean, Danny, have you when you go deer hunting, do you use these? Do you use these things that help you to notice when something's happening out in the woods, or there's something moving out there beyond the tree line when you're up in your tree house out there?
It has been like since forever, when I deer hunted. But yes, my dad does. He does have that. He has infrared cameras and those like echo things. It's like yeah.
So see, Fallujah. So what they learned in Fallujah, ladies and gentlemen, you can buy for like $39.95 now.
Right.
And put it in your backyard.
You can go to Dick's Sporting Goods and get all that jazz.
Yeah. Well, at the same time that I'm telling you this, in your mind, it should be clicking that. Wait a minute. That means I can go down and buy my own military-style technology and utilize it for myself. Yeah. I know. See? Mm-hmm. That's the whole thing.
I just got a new cell phone, and it has an infrared camera on it.
It doesn't now.
It does.
That's the thing.
I'm super excited.
That's the thing about being compartmentalized, ladies and gentlemen, is that all of these things are. I'm personally a systems integrator. So listen, I don't have the time, energy, or money to start my own company, to build the thing that I need to make the thing that I want to do happen. So what I do is I look around on the shelf and I find like 5 or 6 things on the shelf there that I can make work together, Scotty. Like I can network these things that I've put together, like the satellite system.
Yes.
We can network the satellite system. We can network cameras on the ground. These types of things, Scotty, this networking aspect of what's going to happen with smart cities. What do you think about the networking aspect, Scotty, and spy technology? Do you think, are there spies in the, is there a spy in the House of Love, Scotty? Can they get in my computer when I'm just sitting here, the spies?
Well, this is where we start getting into the discussion of the Internet of Things and smart devices and everything being tied to the Internet, right? This LifeLog project, I'm going to go back to the LifeLog thing real quick because I think it's kind of important, that they wanted to trace and track every aspect of your life. And at the time when they were testing LifeLog, the technologies didn't really exist for them to achieve those goals. But now we fast forward, almost 20 years later, right? They now have the technology in order to actually make this LifeLog project come to fruition and make it a reality. So it's not just the social media aspect where like Facebook and all of the targeted ads, and they're able to build a psychological profile on you based off of your posts and where you're browsing and the tracking cookies that they load in your browser. That way, even though you're not on Facebook, they're still looking at the websites that you're going to and data mining a profile on you, right? And that's just one aspect of it. Now we got to start looking into a lot of the smart devices, right? So you have your Alexas, your Google Homes, all of those. And then you have your security smart devices like Amazon Ring and the cameras that you're willingly installing in your own house that is being fed back to the Amazon mothership. And so you have that aspect of.
Listen to this, okay? Now, this is something that came up recently down in New Zealand. So all you New Zealanders, you get to have this for free. You can just go up to the Google website and get it for yourself. Now, let's take a quick listen to this. Isn't that music happy?
NZ COVID Tracer is a handy tool that lets us keep a digital diary of the places we visit and the people we meet. To start your digital diary, download the NZ COVID Tracer app from the Google Play Store or Apple App Store. When you first open NZ COVID Tracer, you will be prompted to enable alerts. This allows NZ COVID Tracer to send you a notification if you scanned at a location at around the same time as someone who has COVID-19. If you don't see an Enable Alerts option on your dashboard, this means alerts are already enabled. You can turn them on or off later through your phone settings. We recommend enabling alerts, so if you've been somewhere you might have been exposed to the virus, we can let you know to keep watch for symptoms. To use NZ COVID Tracer, simply open the app, point the
You can keep a little diary for yourself. Keep it all there, right in your little phone. My name's Jimmy, it's Into the Microcosm, Spy Tech. Scotty Lopez is the guest, Epic Journeyman, Rockin' Rio, and the lovely, the sweet, the sugar in my coffee, the honey in my tea, Danny, standing at the door that leads below. We'll be right back. Wakey, except balls to the wall, man. Let me ask you a question. Are you willing to give up your information? Are you willing to scan your eyeball down at Burger King for a free Coke? Some people are, man. I heard people are scanning their eyeballs for free beers at the game, and I can understand it because I mean, beers at the game, what do they cost? Like $30.
They're getting injected with poison for donuts.
Well, listen. Do you have your new Amazon Halo? Well, we could talk about the Amazon Halo in a minute, because it's one of those off-the-shelf integrations that I would definitely make if I was sitting in the black robe at the top of the pyramid looking down on how I wanted to watch every single one of you 7 billion people. Yeah, well, let's pull this off the shelf in a second, but in the meantime, let's put the balls to the wall.
Isn't just physical. Social well-being is important too. Introducing Amazon Halo. Halo lets you analyze the tone of your voice throughout the day, because sometimes we don't sound the way we think we sound. Like, maybe you thought you sounded affectionate, but actually sounded bored. Maybe in the future you can do a better job complimenting her talents. With Halo, you can make sure what people hear with their ears matches what comes from your heart.
My name's Jimmy. It's a dirty black summer. Ugh. You better not. Let me tell you something right now, man. If you're ever in a band with Danzig, you better never make a mistake, because that dude will kick your ass. I swear to God, if you don't hit that snare, he will kick your ass, Danny. You know what, man?
Okay.
If you don't make that snare snap and pop like it's supposed to, man, Danzig will throw a chokehold on you and take you outside and give you some asphyxiation like you've never seen.
I'm still not seeing the downside here, Jimmy.
My name's Jimmy. It's in the microcosm. We're talking about spy tech. There's Danny. She's standing at the door that leads below into the underground, into the microcosm. And we're here with Scotty Lopez, Epic Journeyman, and Rockin' Rio. The only person we haven't heard from yet in an opening salvo is the Rockin' Rio. Rockin' Rio, are you there?
Of course I am.
Get your ass in here, Sonny. I see you in the green room, man. You're trying to eat that last hunk of cheese with that Italian salami in one hand, hunk of cheese in the other hand. And who's that girl?
Somebody's got to judge the twerking contest. So.
Who's that lady you got there? Well, never mind. Don't mention any names. You don't want to acknowledge the person might be here when they said they were somewhere else. Just keep it quiet. But anyways, Rockin' Rio, get in here. Spy tech, man. How do I know somebody's not watching your new girlfriend over there off of her cell phone? Or, you know what I mean? Because for $29.95, you think your old lady's cheating on you, you can go down and buy an app and track her. You know, all you got to do is just know her phone number, and then boom, next thing you know, you're reading her email. You figure out where she knows she's on the 9th floor down at the 999 building on... you know what I mean? Rockin' Rio, where are you at on the spy tech?
Well, I was actually, when I was looking at some of this stuff before, there's actually a little device. It almost looks like a USB stick now, and you can just stick it in any iPhone or any Android phone, and it will download and decrypt everything instantly into the USB drive, you know, within a couple minutes. And then you can take it home and open it all up on your computer, totally decrypted, totally everything. It's and I think it was like $35 for this little device. So if you really wanted to get into some spy teching on the phone, you could do something like that. And of course, you know, you could plug that into anybody's router or the back of their television, you know, because the television's taking pictures of you all the time and listening to you too now.
Right. Maybe what we'll do is
Introducing Amazon.
Maybe what we'll do is we'll talk a little bit about some of that infrared technology coming out of your TV, Epic Journeyman, because the infrasound that we were just speaking of earlier is exactly the type of thing that could be utilized on a television set. And Rockin' Rio, you know that they are, because the television set is reading the environment to determine whether or not to backlight, whether to adjust the lighting. So, you know, there's a good reason for it to be there, but what the hell else is it doing? That's the question. Is it know when I'm in the room? You know, this kind of thing.
Mine knows every time I stand up and walk away from it or I come back. It does it on a fairly regular basis. You know, it's been programmed to do such things. And even though I turn the option off, it still seems to work on its own somehow. So
okay, so listen. Now I'm gonna replay this again because this is only 30 seconds, but this is the one piece of this Amazon technology that bothers me, and I want you all to really pay attention to this clip, because what it's doing is it's saying, I'm gonna monitor your voice and see to you think you sound okay, but to other people you sound bored. You sound angry. And you're being...
I see this as an excuse for Amazon just to listen to you all the time, and you just gave him permission to do it.
Well, the thing is the permission part is the part where you acquiesce and put this thing on your wrist. But if they're offering it as a paid service, that means they've already worked out the kink in your Amazon listening device that everybody has. So, you know, gingerly placed in their sugar bush area in their house where they want to keep it all nice and tidy. So, let's play this again. I want because listen, this is an off-the-shelfer. That what I'm doing is I'm going to take this off the shelf, but I'm going to integrate it with my satellites that we have up in the sky. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this signal right here off this halo. Okay, and I'm going to shoot it over to the TV, Scotty, and then I'm going to put it through the router, and then I'm going to shoot that back up to my satellite, and because this satellite is taking in data, 24/7. So let's hear again how they monitor our every emotion, because like I say, they've worked this out. Otherwise, they wouldn't be selling it as something that you could buy.
Health isn't just physical. Social well-being is important too. Introducing Amazon Halo. Halo lets you analyze the tone of your voice throughout the day, because sometimes we don't sound the way we think we sound. Like, maybe you thought you sounded affectionate, but actually sounded bored. Maybe in the future you can do a better job complimenting her talents.
You hear the lady's voice comes in as
It's like the teacher from Peanuts.
I know. Well, the thing is, here's the thing. Well, okay, so you got this thing on your wrist and you're not acting right, man. The tone of your voice wasn't quite right when that police officer asked you a question. How long is it going to be before you get a quick bug up? Drop to your knees, boy. Put your hands behind
you weren't respectful enough. Put your hands on the car.
Yeah, why don't you get a shock collar and put that on me? How about that? And then you can just ID me instead of me paying $1,000 for my ID tag. So I can have the most stylish ID tag with the clearest screens and the biggest, bestest cameras and the greatest microphones. And let me go down and pay $1,000 for the privilege of wearing my tag in my panopticon right here, the land of the free, home of the slave, America. It's not your granddaddy's America. Go ahead.
Can I also point out the potential mind control psychological aspect of this as well, where you're constantly being told that you're in this mood that you're really not in, and then you start believing that you're actually in that mood, right? Like, this thing is constantly telling you feel sad, you might be depressed. The tone of your voice doesn't sound very, very good. And then, people are like rushing up to the doctor, right, to go get prescribed some SSRIs or something because their Alexa Halo told them that they're sad. I mean, you could see how it could create this like Pavlovian response from people as well when they're constantly being told what their mood is, so it's crazy, man.
It's totally, listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is not that far off.
Well, what is it? I think you ought to sit down calmly, Dave, and take a stress pill and think things over.
It's literally going to be acting like HAL 9000, or it's like, Dave, you sound upset. Dave, sit down.
Oh,
We're going to help you through this.
Except it'll do it in a more subtle female voice now. It's because Amazon has I forget who the actress is that does the Amazon voice.
It'll be an English or a UK accent. Makes it sound all like non-threatening. It makes it sound non-threatening.
As long as it's not the Candle Girl.
Certainly. Thank you.
All right, so listen. There's also something that's called ultrasonic and subsonic, transmission that can also cause people to, go into a tizzy or whatever. Yeah. Like you could just be sitting there and you're minding your own business, and they come up like Scotty's saying. They just come up to you and they start giving you a hard time, saying, "Hey, man,
is there a problem here, sir?"
I don't think so.
Can you come to the back of the plane with me so we can have a talk?
But talk about what? There's not a problem. The flight attendant keeps ignoring me when I ask.
Calm down.
I am calm. What is it with you people?
You people?
Oh, now wait a minute. I don't mean you people. I mean you people.
Sir, I will not tolerate any racist behavior on the plane. This is a very difficult time for our country.
I know that. I'm not a racist. I just want to watch the movie.
I'm only going to say this one more time, sir. Calm down.
I'm calm!
You better calm down, man, sir. Sir, calm down. He wasn't doing anything. He's just, I'm just sitting here, man. No, calm down, sir. What's that?
Exactly.
Yeah, what's that tone in your voice, Scotty? Your tone changed. Are you angry?
You know what? I think this Amazon Halo thing might have a problem for people who are like deadpan, right? Like deadpan comedians or any people that just their voice don't fluctuate. I mean, like my brother, he's very deadpan when he speaks, just monotone. There's no fluctuation. I think he's immune. I think he's immune to the halo.
Well, is
Like
that
Charlton Heston.
Is that how we get cold-blooded in the future? Like all these futuristic dystopian futures. Everybody doesn't have a look on their face. Everybody's walking around all because they don't want to, get into the system. Over there in China, like if you don't look right, Epic, at work, they have detection devices that are spying on you at work, watching your every move, don't they, Epic?
Yes, they do. Like we were talking before the show a little bit about the ones in China that monitor the people working on the assembly lines and in these electronic assembly kind of plants and things like that. See if they start stooping in their posture, or if they look like they're thinking something else or daydreaming, and they start frowning or whatever. They're not even communicating. But the thing is, like the ones we have here in America, they're just as elaborate, even more so in some ways. They actually 3D scan you and know you're, like we talk about gait recognition and things like that, but they start having these algorithms in there that try to predict your behavior by the things like your gait and the way that your posture is in the workplace. So it's so convoluted now that it's something that people by themselves just sitting there behind a monitor or something like that would never even be qualified to, and they aren't, right, to take that data and make a decision about. But they're going to trust this to some little profile it's on this service you buy from a company, right, to tell you what people are really thinking. It may not even be true.
Well,
when we were talking about that thing about interesting about that that ultrasound or infrasound range we were talking about earlier, that resolution is they're trying to get that 25 hertz to 100 hertz spectrum, which is like things like blade rate and you can detect helicopters or a car or whatever. That's just sonar stuff. But that stuff below that, when you start getting below 40 hertz, that's brainwave stuff. That's brainwave stuff. That actually is all the way down. So once you get a profile of a person and have the spectrum of thought that they have, that becomes a platform. It's called a class identifier. Is a certain kind of platform in sonar. But in the sense of a person, that same kind of acoustic signature, that same kind of acoustic analysis can be used to develop what they call a platform identifier, which is like down to the whole number of a ship or submarine, but in this case, it's people. That's the level we're at now, And so when you talk about this full spectrum dominance, they mean it.
Well, yeah, and it's like the whole the concept of raise your vibration. It's okay. Go ahead, raise your vibration, and then you're going to stand out as someone who's not going to be accepting, the program.
Yeah, and then you just get a
yeah. I've wondered that for a couple of years. Like if you're raising your vibration, you're trying to be positive and have this outlook of, humanity realizing truth and what's going on, like legitimately going on. But if you are doing that, then you do have, these frequencies that you're emitting. And why can't they just read those and see who's doing that and just like, okay, you're on the list. You're on the list.
That's actually very perceptive of you, actually, because that's right. Like the reason that the people blend into the background, or let's look at it from a submarine warfare aspect. The reason that things are able to hide in the ocean is because they get caught up in the background noise. They get caught up in the background noise. And there's different things. There's things in environment you can use to your advantage too. But it's because it's distinguishing from the background. So if everybody's kind of the same, you don't stand out from the background, it's hard to find anybody that's exceptional or different, or that class identifier, let alone the platform identifier down to the individual. But once you start doing something different that stands out, it's like an alarm bell. Right. Everybody sees it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and it also alerts the crawlers of the ether space.
Exactly.
The minute they see your light turn on, that's brighter than the rest of it, they can see that there's some tasty treats down there that they want to eat down low. And they swoop down on the web and they start to suck your blood, ladies and gentlemen, your etheric, energetic blood, your loosh.
You know what? I think you're very, very correct. And I think that's part of the aspect of a lot of people who are, I guess you could say, in the business of what we do, right? Truth tellers and trying to raise people's vibration. And, you know, I think a lot of us tend to deal with a lot of, we deal with a lot of trials and tribulations, and it's almost like, you know, on an energetic level, we're being targeted in a way.
Yes,
you know, I mean,
definitely.
Yeah,
And you stick out like a sore thumb, you know.
Yeah,
exactly.
And you see
your vibrations are going out, not in a like a sine wave like they want you to imagine. It's a 3D. It's like it's filling all of that ether. You're like a beacon. It's like a oh, here on the radar, look at me.
Well,
you know, it's like
and the other
point the radar this direction.
The other
come in and, you know, get it.
The other aspect too, Danny, is in the Gateway document. You can find it at CIA.gov reading room. But there's a summary, and they talk about the human brain that it will attune itself to the highest or the strongest, most dominant signal. And so the thing is if you want to keep the population docile, what you want to do is if you want to pump the frequency equal to that emotion. So what we have is we've had every single emotion has been spectrally analyzed. And so if I want to make you angry, I know exactly what frequency to blast at you to get you pissed. Now, let's just take it a step further. Let's say I'm a contractor and I got this new app where once it's on your phone, I can make you argue with your housemate because I'm going to put you in a state of being angry. And when they push the toothpaste down from the middle, you snap. Because you know what I mean? I'm just saying it's something that causes people to snap. But I'm just saying you wouldn't snap normally, but I'm abrasively affecting you with a certain frequency that's coming directly to you from your ID tag, your phone.
Right.
Epic Journeyman, all you lot. And Rio, get in here. Scotty, you guys get in here. You guys know what I'm talking about.
I'm here. I'm trying to keep out of the range of my phone now.
I know. Well,
just don't put it in your pocket, for God's sake.
That's right. Unless you put it on vibrate, then definitely put it in your pocket.
Definitely.
I am still proud to announce that I have never owned an NSA tracking device. I've never owned a cell phone. I still don't own a cell phone. And if I have to do anything with a cell phone, I just run an Android emulator on my computer, you know, and that's how I do that.
That's why you are the badass.
Yeah, you're my hero. I mean, I've got one, but I do have a Faraday pouch that I stick it in when I leave the house. So, but still, that's pretty badass.
You know what happened? The bottom of the hour came, and I didn't give anybody a chunk of anything to smoke.
Uh-oh.
Let's put this little chunk here. This is these are conscious. Here's some conscious reggae by a band that I love, and I think you guys will love them too. The band's called Dub Conscious, and it's featuring Mike Love as the vocalist, but the album's called At the Foot of the Mountain, and this one's called Babylon Control. Aftermath.fm. It's where the counterculture comes to hang out late night style with Jimmy G and In the Microcosm crew, the mistress of the door that leads below, Danny, our special guest, Scotty. We need more power. Epic Journeyman and the Rockin' Rio. Tomorrow night, Rockin' Rio's got the Reverse Perverse Circus, and we got a good show planned for you. We'll get into some of that in a moment, but here's that chunk. Stuff it in there. Okay, stuff it in or just roll a fat one and smoke it. Mom's Jimmy. It's Aftermath.fm.
We're singing the last they're hearing. Babylon got them so mindless they can't see Armageddon is nearing. I try to shake them, to wake them, but they say they'd rather be sleeping. So don't be surprised if my eyes can't disguise that inside me my spirit is weeping.
It's Aftermath.fm. It's Babylon Control.
last night at the end it all. I was searching everywhere for food, but there was none. Bodies lying burned in the midday sun. Nowhere to hide, nowhere to run. I went to the city, but the city was gone. Radiated with hatred and destroyed by a bomb. The whole brilliant colors of the nuclear dome. But there is no song. All has gone wrong. And when I awoke, I could clearly see the seeds of this vision Jah had given me. Planted deep within his aristocracies, hypocrisy and power and greed. So wake up to the fact that they're controlling you. Whether or not you're doing what you want to do, the system that we're living in is doomed. Jah knows it's true, and I know it's true, and I'm just telling you this because I love you, brethren. True and true, I'm untrue until the very end. Defeated the kiss, the stronger the poison, and the prison that I dreamed about. Dying for nothing. It's Babylon control. It's Hollywood mind control.
Changes in behavior, mental attitude.
Did you ever consider what would have happened if any of these substances were given to, say, unwitting people?
You see hallucinations, but that doesn't begin to tell us.
Here, friends. Come forward, friends. Step forward. I bring you a message. A message few of you will be able to believe. A message of great importance. A message I alone was able to read in the fires of the universe. But be not afraid, my friends. I also bring you the means with which to save yourselves. Save us from what? From the end of the world, friend. Which I don't expect you to believe. But the rest of you, those who want to be alive tomorrow morning, I will tell you tonight. Remember that. Bring your friends here.
Never was a cornflake girl. Thought that was a good solution, hanging with the raisin girls. She's gone to the other side, giving us a yo-yo. Things are getting kind of gross, and I go at sleepy time. This is not really, this is not really happening. You bet your life it is.
You bet your life it is. This is really happening. Spy Tech. Somebody's watching me, man. Somebody's watching me. Oh, wait a minute. I'm on YouTube. That's why they're watching me.
She knows what's going on. Seems we got a cheaper feel now. All the sweet tea.
Late night, Aftermath.fm. The lovely Danny. Epic Journeyman, Rockin' Rio, and the Ether Master. The hard pipe-hitting brother from Freaky Friday on the Kev Baker Show every Thursday at 2 o'clock Pacific. Scotty Lopez, we're talking about it tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting all up inside your ass, just like the security systems around the world are getting all up in you. You know, they should change their name to Richard Gazinia, and you can call me Dick.
Ruh-roh.
No, yeah, that's what I should, you know. Hey, my name's Richard Gazinia from the National Security Agency, but you can call me Dick. So what we want to tell you about today, ladies and gentlemen, is some little bit of a technology system that's going to help the world in its 9/11 type scenarios. That's right. There's a company out there in the world, ladies and gentlemen, that they're trying to do everything they can to make the world a safer place for us all. And this company, we've talked a little bit about it before, but it's a company called Nice Systems. But I don't think it's too nice. Well, I mean, the way they put it out there is just like the way that satellite company put out their thing. And so we built our platform on the satellite company that's there just to, take pictures and data and stuff. They're not really doing anything. And they're not really looking through your ceiling or anything like that. So, what we're getting at here is there's another piece of the technology that is going to tie into my integration. Okay, so now I've also integrated with the smart TV system. I put that into my system, so I've got my satellite overall basis. I've got my internal house monitoring with my Amazon devices, my smart TVs, my thermostats, all this. So the next thing we need to add to the mix is a software that sits over the top of the whole thing and controls it. And that's where Nice Systems comes in. So here's a little piece. I almost feel like I got to run the whole thing, but you know what we'll do? Let's do this. I'll run this and then I will stop it on key moments because you're not going to be able to resist some of this. Yeah. Mom's Jimmy, it's in the microcosm. Let's hear a little bit from Nice, the Inform Elite Overview, NG Recording and Incident Intelligence. So I just want to say a city like Las Vegas, where they were running Nice software, when you hear what Nice is doing, ask yourself if any of the clues to what happened in Las Vegas could possibly be missing. Ask yourself. No way. This system monitors everything, every peak keystroke, every gallon of gasoline, every chopper. Run for the chopper, Danny. Nice Systems. This video does not want to, they don't want you to hear it. They're just trying to stop me from getting the information out, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, while you're having your technical difficulties,
Yeah, why don't you shout out that chat?
Chadrick Myers would like to know if Scotty has any insight on Smart Dust.
Let her rip, Scotty. Smart Dust.
Yeah, I mean, Smart Dust is a thing, right? I mean, they're able to create stuff at a nano level and integrate it into networks. So, I mean, there's no reason to believe that they don't have Smart Dust abilities. And I think they've demonstrated it in, certain lab experiments that they've, put out. But usually, when they're telling the public that this stuff is being developed and they're rolling it out, that means they've had it for a while. We always talk about how the technology that they really have is at least 30 to 70 years ahead of what the public has access to. So when we talk
30
about
years? I mean, on YouTube, they only let you know that it's 10 years ahead. Dang.
Yeah, it's more like 30 to 70 years, with the technology that they're actually playing with at these, black sites or,
And you got to look at what they release too. Like I'm saying, they have this technology that they release out there before we ever even get it, and they make sure everything's running perfectly before it hits our devices, Scotty.
And going back to the Smart Dust thing, right? I had brought up an article quite a few years ago where it was from the UK, and they were discussing how every person on the planet, okay, get this, every person on the planet has a certain level of magnetite in their brain. Now what was interesting about the article was they were coming at it from the perspective of, well, everybody has magnetite in their brain because of pollution, right? And climate change and all of this stuff. However, when you start looking at magnetite, well, what is magnetite? Well, it's magnetic, right?
Exactly.
So if your brain has got a certain saturation level of a magnetic, nanoparticle or whatever, then what effect does that have whenever they start playing with, magnetic fields and frequencies and things of that sort, and these little magnetite particles are, flipping around in your brain and doing crazy stuff? I mean, what are the implications of that, really? So
well, there's
Well,
definitely
what if you should already have the magnetite there because it allows you to feel the magnetic flux lines of Earth, and
yeah,
they
we
want to
have it.
call it an oversaturation of magnetite, like it's some sort of disorder, because they don't want you to realize that you have that potential, like migratory birds and butterflies and all those things.
Yeah, I talk about that a lot, actually, where I think we're naturally tuned to the magnetic field of the planet, and every animal, including humans, have a certain level of that going on in their brain. Of course, some species have it much stronger than others. Like you said, the migratory patterns of birds and whales and all of that, they follow that. But humans at some level have that too, and I'm sure some feel it more strongly than others. And I also think it's something that we once were able to feel. We had that ability to feel that a long time ago, like during ancient times and stuff like that.
Right, and we still should have, but if you look at the way they lay out streets and neighborhoods, even whole cities and countries, it's on a like mile by mile square grid pattern that's opposed to the natural magnetic flux lines. It doesn't mesh, so it's like a Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down, but they're just like keeping us like at 45 degrees. We're all wonky, and we can't find our way, and I think that's intentional.
Exactly.
It is, and it's like keeping us off balance or keeping us off tilt. It's like when you play in poker and you put somebody on tilt, is they can't think straight or do the right thing because they're too busy. They're off balance. They're trying to get they're trying to get back on their feet, and that's the same thing. Is they keep us back off of our balance and they keep us off our feet. We can't get a solid connection to the earth either. It's easy to push somebody over when they're not standing correctly. When the weight's not evenly distributed. My name is Jimmy. It's in the microcosm. It's Aftermath.fm. We're going to open up the phone, 626-999-4761, 626-999-4761. If you want to give us a call in a bit, why don't you stand by on calling until the top of the hour at the witching hour on the East Coast and midnight on the West Coast, Santa Cruz, California. Weed is legal, and it's always 4:20 over here in the microcosm studio because my clock is stopped at 4:20. Epic Journeyman, Rock and Rio, you've been sitting over there taking a break. Get your butt in here, Rock and Rio, and get to work, son. I know you had a long day, but you got to get up in here because we only have so much time, and it's almost up. So is there something here before I get into the nice system that you wanted to talk about? Because we really need to see the overlay. Now, this is, like I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, this is the software that sits over the top of my system. Now, these guys already, see, I don't have to develop a software, do I? No, because I just get my satellites there. I got my software here. I've got my internal monitoring devices at your house, which also includes your security cameras and your Google doorbells and all this shit. I got that stuff on my system too because I'm picking it up because I've got a covert cellular network I built just outside your house with a smart meter. And every time I put one on another house, I expand my footprint to the point where now I have a secret, basically a cellular network blasting my signals throughout the neighborhoods across America. And everything's talking back to it on that frequency. Your smart devices will be talking to the power company. You will be notified that you've been using too much power because you've been monitored and you've been tagged as a power waster and a refusenik to buy
Hey,
in. Go ahead.
Since you brought that up, of being monitored about how much aren't they already doing that with water? Some places in California over by you, where if you used too many gallons a day, they fine you.
They do.
Isn't that something they're doing on your end?
It is something they're doing. It's
So I mean, what's the next step? You're right. They'll be monitoring the electricity, and they'll be monitoring your grocery shopping habits. And saying, you're eating too much steak, so your health insurance is going to go down.
The next step is that my bracelet from Amazon is going to go because I did the wrong thing and I let the water run while I was washing the dishes, and that's not good. And technically it really isn't good.
To Rio's point there, I mean, look, you already have smart refrigerators, right? And they can utilize that to monitor your diet habits and make recommendations of things you might need to switch up and change in order to live a more healthy lifestyle. Because we all want to live a more healthy lifestyle, right? And we need to cut down on that consumption of meat in order to save the planet.
No.
And you eat too much sugar, so your diabetic medication will not be subsidized by the health insurance company anymore.
And when the contact tracer shows up at your house because your app said that you were in close proximity to somebody who may or may not have been infected, and your wife has a nice onion ass, she's got an onion booty. You know what that dude's gonna say?
Cry.
You know what that guy's gonna say? He's gonna say, "Hey, man, this damn infrared thermometer is just not working like it used to. I'm afraid you're gonna have to bend over. I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way and take your temperature, cause my infrared is not working. See, and if you don't let me take your temperature, I'll call you."
This is a COVID test, not a prostate exam.
Well, let me just say.
I want to do a rectal swab. That's all.
That's it. I mean, listen, we got to have it. We must have it in order for you to participate in society any further. I'm going to have to clear you here. And if you're going to go ahead and get smart with me, I might have to smack that ass a couple times before I drag you outside, put a black bag over your head, take you down to the camp with the rest of the refuseniks, because you need some re-education, man.
And you thought the nasal swab was invasive.
My name's Jimmy. They don't call me Black.
Man, that was so bad when it went up my nose. I couldn't even imagine what it would be going the other way.
Damn, you had to do that?
They don't call me. Let me tell you something. They don't call me Black Pill Jimmy for no reason.
Next generation 911 and LTE broadband networks are fundamentally changing emergency communications. Public safety answering points at the center of the convergence of these two broadband networks are becoming intelligence centers. PSAPs need to be able to effectively receive, capture, analyze, and share multimedia communications with first responders, prosecutors, and citizens. Are you ready? To embrace this new role, you need a single view.
So I'm gonna stop it there because I'm gonna back that. I gotta back
prosecutors.
I gotta back. Yeah, I gotta back that thing up. It looks like we got a call.
Prosecutors.
Looks like we got a call too. Caller, I don't know. I might have accidentally bumped you back. Caller, if I knocked you off the line, come back on. Let's back that thing up, man. Now here's the thing. They're showing 3 circles. They're interconnecting. There's one in the middle. It's called the Intelligence Center. Can you guys answer that? One of you guys? I'm not seeing the call coming in on my screen. Hold on. Oh, there it is. I got you, bruh. I got you. Okay, so now there's 3. Just keep yourself hanging there for a second. Make sure your radio's turned off. So what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is we got 3 interconnecting circles. One's called NG911. That's on the left. In the middle, there's a big one that's called PSAP, Intelligence Center. And on the right, there's one that's called FirstNet/ESN. And so these 3 things are now, the FirstNet and the 911 are connected to the center circle, which is the Intelligence Center, which is where all these apps, everything that this NICE system is touched to, they dump their data. It comes back to this system. And what NICE does is they sit there on an emergency. They look at everything that happens with the NICE system, and then NICE, through the AI, center will then determine a faster or better way to do things the next time, and that's how they sell it. But really, everything's just being monitored the whole time. So we got a caller. Let me call her. Just stand by, stay on the line, and listen to this little chunk from a nice company called Nice.
PSAPs need to be able to effectively receive, capture, analyze, and share multimedia communications with first responders, prosecutors, and citizens. Are you ready? To embrace this new role, you need a single view and source of truth to improve resource planning and operational performance, where you can search for incident.
Okay, so they have this little man, and he's standing underneath this sign that has this center for where all the intelligence is coming into. And then there's a street sign and a bus going by, and the name of the street is, are you ready for this? Single Source of Truth. Single Source of Truth. Now, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I want to point out to you that only 2,348 people have seen this video. This video is the video that they use to sell this system to your neighborhood police station and fire captain. This is what they use. This is the so the thing is this isn't secret, but yet most people have not heard of it. Even if they've heard of Nice, they've never gone and looked at one of these sales pitch videos where there's a street called the Single Source of Truth. Wow. Aren't we lucky? Aren't we lucky?
Recordings using
I'm so
CAD
happy
data.
to have you here at the Church of Scientology.
Are you over at the Church of Scientology?
I'm not sure.
Well-
It sounds like you are, though.
Well, I am definitely seeking, yet I am not finding.
You sound rather sublime.
I'm tweeting about it.
Speaking of Sublime, maybe we'll play some Sublime in a minute. Okay, here we go. Nice. Let's get out of it. Let's see how this happens.
I think we have a caller, Jimmy.
I know we do, but caller's hanging tough. Just hang tough, caller.
Whoa.
2 more minutes. The thing is, it's hard to let this. Go ahead. Who are you and where are you calling from?
You got to fight for your right to fight, Jimmy.
You gotta fight for your right to fight. It's Ginger Sugarbush.
What's up, Ginger?
Yeah.
So this is long distance from Canada, so.
Oh, sweet. Well, as long as you have unlimited minutes, it really doesn't matter where you're calling from. So we're happy to have you. Unless you're on one of those. You're not on one of those prepaid phones, are you?
I'm on my regular phone.
Oh, there you go. We're all cool then. So let me ask you this, Ginger. You got a couple minutes? Because I need to run this video here so everybody here in the Aftermath audience can hear what...
I'll pick it up if he doesn't.
Okay, here we go. Ready? And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. My name's Jimmy. It's in the microcosm.
Records requests and perform quality assurance reviews in half the time, where there's no waiting for the reports you need, and you can make more informed decisions with clear, accurate information. To help identify issues earlier, stay out of the headlines, meet performance targets, and improve emergency response. Thanks to...
See how I can't even let it run 10 seconds because there it is again. Stay out of the headlines. How do you keep it out of the headlines? Well, you just put your nice software system right there sitting right the hell over your head, and, there it is. It's
We got to stay out of the headlines because the prosecutors are listening.
Exactly.
Right?
It's like, you don't even, and then you got the red flag laws, Scotty. You got people being predetermined to be, I don't know, they're ready to go do something. You got the red flag laws. You got this, that.
Yeah. I mean, this NICE system, this all ties into, remember all of the talk about the fusion centers and all of that?
Exactly. Expand on those fusion centers, Scotty, because I don't think a lot of people even remember those anymore. That shit went down the memory hole, bro. Go ahead. The fusion centers, ladies. You don't remember these? Scotty's going to do a greatest hits. Go ahead, Scotty.
Well, yeah, the fusion centers were all birthed out of the whole post 9/11 Patriot Act, fight terrorism because, Jihad Johnny might be hiding behind a bush at every corner, and so that's when you started seeing the whole federalization of police forces and trying to get all of these local police departments on board with a federal plan in order to help fight terrorism and react to major incidents and things like that. So they developed these fusion centers, or called fusion centers, and they're kind of like these local command base areas where the federal government and local police can have a little powwow with each other and share information and whatnot. And this nice system that you're talking about, this is the overlay to all of that, because when they go and have their little powwows at the fusion centers, this is the data that they're pouring over. This is the information that they're looking at. And so yeah, this is the overlay grid. It's kind of the main sort of mothership where everything is uploaded into NICE, and then it sits there and it, like you said, Jimmy, it uses the algorithms, it uses artificial intelligence to crunch the numbers and all of that. And you remember Aaron and Melissa Dykes did a thing about how they were also they could use the system, right, to pull you over, and before the cop even gets out of the car, he already gets a color-coded designation of how much of a threat you pose, right? So they pull somebody over, they run their play or whatever, and they get a little thing that pops up on their laptop in the squad car, probably courtesy of NICE, that says, "Oh, the guy you're pulling over, he's a threat. He's a green threat level. He's not much of a threat." But they might pull somebody else over, and they're like, "Oh, this guy is a code red because we've determined that he could pose a risk. Some red flags or something like that." So
yeah, you're code red. You're code red if you voted Republican, and you're code blue if you voted Democrat. And that shows up on the screen when the contact tracers show up at your house. And when you got some smarmy person there showing up that doesn't like the right side of the argument, well, you might have a little temperature there. As a matter of fact, your wife does have a nice ass. Do you mind if I take your wife's temperature, Scotty? Because the thing about it is, Scotty, is my infrared is broken. I'm gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way, Scotty. I'm just kidding. No, my name's Jimmy. It's In the Microcosm. We're talking about taking people's temperatures and sniffing butts on this 24/7. It's happening, going around the clock, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't matter where you are. You ever heard of a dude by the name of Brap Allgood? Brap?
Yes, I have.
Me too. And our audience is about to hear Brap Allgood as well.
Fantastic.
I know. And you know what? I'm going to have to see your license and registration, please. I'm going to have to see your license and registration, Danny.
Yeah, good luck with that. I'm not required to have those, sir.
I'm afraid I'm gonna have to ask you to step to the back of the car, please.
You mean like put my hands on the trunk and spread them, kind of thing?
Exactly what I mean.
All right, now I'm picking up what you're laying down there, sir.
Well, you must have been here before. Let me just see if you've got a record of any of this going on before in your life.
I don't give a damn about my reputation.
Let me just check all your papers. A routine terror sweep here. I'm Officer Jack Boot. I've got a uniform. Bow down to that. Shiny medallions, fancy hat. I've got a uniform. You little pig. Bow down to that. Let me hear you squeal. Shiny medallions. Squeal, squeal. Fancy hat. Bend him over. Come on, little piggy. You understand me, boy? Now I tell everybody, the government's king. Now I tell you what you do. Get out there on the ground. Bow down to that. We don't learn you good now. Shining medallions. That ain't good enough, boy. Lick my boot. I'm a cop. I'm a cop. I got the power. Oh, yeah. I'm a cop. I'm a cop. I'll do what I
It's Aftermath FM.
Yes, sir, boss man. Can I please worship the government better?
That's a vote of non-confidence, you civilian trash. Talking bad about the government, that's our kind of talk. Civilian scum, you better pray to me and you better lick my boots. I'm an officer and you're a lowly civilian. You want that smile on your face right now? I'll tase you and I'll set you up and I'll send you to prison. You pieces of trash, you do what I say. Maybe I'll put duct tape on your mouth, your eyes, arms, and legs and throw you in the river. Talk about how you committed suicide.
626-999-4761. That's Brap All Good to Serve and Protect featuring Alex Jones.
Give me my taser. I'll show you who the boss is. I'll show you who the winner is. I'm gonna change you right now. I'll show you I'm bigger than you and I'm better than you. And I own you, lady. I'm a cop. I got the power.
I'm sorry I got all scary on you. That's scary, huh? Sorry. Hold on. Brap, I'm sorry you got to go back in there, dude. Sorry. Green room, dude. Give him some Rio. Give Brap All Good a glass of Cristal there, and don't pour any out for your dead homies on the new carpet.
That track used to always fire me up. I love that track.
I know. What did you think of the track, Danny? The secret Brap All Good track.
I've never heard that before, and to be honest, it sounded a little bit like Alex Jones, kind of slowed down to me.
It was
But-
Alex Jones.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, it was
I was,
him.
not super paying attention at the very beginning of when you started playing it because I'm involved in this spectacular
career
cool
as an
kids
acoustic
chat over
analyst.
here.
Well, why don't you shout out the chat when you get a chance and you're ready? Epic Journeyman, are you there? Because I hear you, and I hear you, sir, and I know that the public safety sector is something that you're well versed in. Earlier, you were speaking a little bit about submarines and being underwater, and I don't think the Aftermath audience knows or realizes that you were actually in a submarine. You used to work in the can down underneath. You were the man Famunda. And I hear there's some good cheese Famunda. But I don't know. It depends on where you get it from, I hear. But you were down under Famunda, weren't you? Under the ocean, the deep blue sea.
That's right. It wasn't a yellow submarine either. No windows, no hole in the pocket. It's not an intentional one. None of that stuff. And none of those blue meanies. Although we did wear blue jumpsuits. That's true, actually. And tennis shoes, ironically. But yeah, I was a submarine sonar tech. And so I know a lot about this acoustic kind of analysis that we're talking about. And that's a real thing. I mean, it's really the ability that we've had for, gosh, man, 100 years to go back and identify something. I can tell you the car, like if I have the equipment to do it, the kind of car you're driving, how many cylinders it has, what engine it has, how fast you're driving. And if I get enough data, I can tell you exactly the model, the make, and probably where you bought it. I mean, it's that good, right? It's that good. And that's what we do out in the, defense industry, looking for, not defense industry, in the Navy, for example, looking for our supposed adversaries all the time, adversary or not, we get all that data on them. Well, the thing is that the same technology is being used on us. Okay, so and we're talking a little bit about that infrasound spectrum. It's just low frequency, and we are in that ocean of noise, and that's what we're saying is if you don't distinguish yourself, you can hide essentially in that ocean of noise, and that became a point of research to coordinate with all these other technologies that all of a sudden could track that location of that chair you're using, right? or even you if you're sitting in the place long enough when that satellite passed overhead. And next thing you know, that they get more and more resolution about who you are, what you sound like, what you do. And the thing is that, like, so let's say all the other technology goes away and that you don't have your devices to track anymore. But we still have the infrastructure in place from a technological perspective, from a technocracy, to have these other resources at our disposal. Well, it'll take longer, but they'll still find you if they have that data about you in the first place. For example, it sounds paranoid, but it's not really that way. I mean, it's really that level.
Well,
but I wanted to make the point before I forgot that's why they tell you not to say certain words, because those words are harmonics, right? It's an identifier. It's something that stands out from that background noise. And if you say that word too many times, it sounds like magic, but it's not magic. It's technology, just like Arthur C. Clarke said. That anything that's beyond the technology of the people at the time is magic, but it's not magic. It's a technology.
Would you say it's technomancy?
Yes, I call them technomages. People use it, absolutely.
I'm also going to bring up another very interesting sort of aspect of the spy technology that exists out there right now. And I don't know if any of you guys have heard about this, but they are now able to take video and extrapolate audio out of it, even though that there was no audio source, right? So the way they're able to do this is, for example, if they wanted to get audio out of a building, they would point a high resolution camera with a very high frame per second, a high FPS, and they would aim it at something like a plant or something in the window. Now, what they can do now is they can go back with this high resolution, high refresh video source and actually analyze like the leaf of this plant vibrating. They can actually, on a very tiny pixel level, and watch the vibrations of a leaf that are actually picking up the vibrations of people's voices in the room. So they're able to extrapolate the audio out of the vibration of a leaf on video and listen to what people are saying in a room.
Yeah, I've actually heard of this technology fairly recently, and it's kind of scary, right? Now, because the law says that you can't have audio recording on a video camera unless you notify people with a sign on the door and that they're being recorded. But you can have security cameras everywhere. So now they got high resolution cameras. They don't need to have a microphone in the camera because they can just extract the audio if they need to. It kind of defeats the whole purpose of the no recording laws, right? It's just kind of a way to get around things and do what you want either way.
Yeah, and you're going to see this technology accelerate as artificial intelligence is employed and able to really sort of filter out the background noise and any of the things that could contaminate the audio. I mean, that's what artificial intelligence is really, really good at. And so, yeah, now you're going to see a thing where they're going to be able to extract audio out of visual, out of video, which is crazy, but it's just another aspect that they're going to add to this whole grid, and that'll be fed into the NICE system, and it's wild, man.
Yeah, once the AI gets up and fully throttled up to where they really want it, there's just going to be no escaping it because it's going to be on absolutely everything. I mean, from traffic lights and street signs to your, besides your TV and phone and all that other stuff that we already know is tracking you. It's just going to be everything. Everything that's connected is going to be monitored and filtered.
Well, like
I
was saying,
we're only inches away from it now, I think.
Like I was saying earlier, you get technology, Scotty, you were saying, technology is this advanced, and we get technology after they've already had it for a long time. And one of the things you've seen recently is the ability to charge your phone wirelessly. So let me just say, I'm a systems integrator. And I got to do something. So if I see your technology there and I see I can charge my phone wirelessly, well, what I'm wondering now is, can I energize my dead nanoparticle laying on your floor? Can I energize the dead nanoparticle with the same technology that I'm using to charge your phone wirelessly? Well, it kind of opens up a whole new world, doesn't it? Because if there's electricity flying around all over the place, you think you can just power some nano machines to rebuild themselves in your apartment or into some sort of a crawling spider like you saw?
An apparition, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's pixie dust, right? I mean, smart dust in I mean, Internet of Things, but the whole idea of smart programmable matter and smart dust is just like pixie dust. And it makes you wonder about the old legends of old, about these people had pixie dust, the wizards of the day, right? And I mean, we had this kind of world in the past, but it does make you wonder, like as we miniaturize everything and everything becomes away from these set-top devices and these big TVs and radios and things around the world, and it becomes something like everybody has their allotment of programmable matter and smart dust they carry around in a bag with them to manifest their chair, to manifest their car, to manifest whatever they want. And your wealth is measured in the amount of programmable matter you carry with you. Can you imagine? It's actually wizardry, but it's actually just technomancy. It's techno-mages. It's actually combining technology with magic. But it's not really magic. It's just a technology.
Well, I live in Northern California. There's quite a bit of few colleges up here, you know, that make a difference in the world on a regular basis. I mean, literally cause the world to happen in a lot of ways. The Silicon Valley is an important piece of any healthy future as far as anyone else is concerned, because this is where it all comes from. I mean, it happens all around the world, but it's just like .com and .net. It may happen all around the world, .net, but the only thing anybody pays attention to is .com. So, you know, it may be happening, but it's happening here in the Bay Area. It's happening at UC Berkeley, and here's something called, and only, let me just say, only 137,000 people have ever watched this video. Okay? Here's called neural dust. The future is right at our fingertips. UC Berkeley engineers designed a sensor as small as a grain of sand, wireless, implantable in the body, providing data in real time. The neural dust successfully recorded electrical signals in the nerves, which is a big because these tiny devices could one day help quadriplegics. Scotty. Neural dust would record electrical activity from nerve cells. Ultrasound is sent to the neural dust, which returns a signal with data. The data is analyzed, revealing different electrical patterns, which dictate the movement to be implanted in the brain. Engineers are designing newer, smaller neural dust using materials that went by too fast. Anyways, neural dust, UC Berkeley, check it out. That is, 5 years old. That's yeah. Go ahead. That's 5 years old. See the chip there? You don't need the chip anymore. You don't need the chip anymore because they figured it out already now. They don't need this, but they want to tell you that you do because you're looking out in the future thinking, oh, out in someday they're going to have a chip and they're going to put it in me and I'm going to say no when it happens because I don't want the mark of the beast in me, man. You know, I don't want the mark of the beast in me. But see, the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, you're already running off software. You know, the integrators, they got the software running on the internet every time you boot it up, every time you turn it on. You know, there's ultrasonic, interference going on in your brain by all this, white noise, all this, white noise on your gray matter. You know what I mean? You gotta, if you want to learn to discern, you gotta. Oh, there's something magical happened. I think a fairy just dropped a little fairy dust on me.
Pixie dust.
My name's Jimmy. It's in the microcosm. 626-999-4761. 626-999-4761. 626-999-4761. Somebody's watching me now. 626-999-4761. It's the Lizard King, the Spy.
I know the dream that you're dreaming of. I know the word that you long to hear. I know your deepest secret fear. I'm a spy in the house of love. I know the dream that you're dreaming of. I know the word that you long to hear. I know your deepest secret fear. I know everything, everything you.
It's Aftermath FM. I'm about to give Danny a foot massage. She's been working hard all week. She won the free foot massage. I mean, Rio was close. Rio was really battling hard for it. But Danny won. I'm sorry, Dave. Hold on, Danny. Hold on. Hold on, Danny. Danny won. It's Aftermath FM. You'll tell me in a minute, Danny. Just wait a minute. Because right now, it's time for the crawling king snake.
I'm the crawling king snake, and I rule my den. Yeah, don't mess around with my mate. Gonna use her for myself.
That's right. We're keeping Danny to ourselves on Aftermath.fm. It's the only place you're going to find her late night style. She's wearing her purple. She's taking up all my bandwidth on YouTube. She's so beautiful. She's literally sucking the bandwidth right out. I'm going like 1 frame a second, but it doesn't matter because Danny's face is on that frame. All right, Danny. You want to shout out the chat real quick, and then we'll get back to the conversation.
Okay.
Rio was twerking hard, okay, but he didn't twerk
honestly,
hard enough. He didn't win the foot massage. You won.
But that's okay
think
because
I'm willing to share and let him have it because I think that's Mr. Congeniality deserves it for the effort.
Well, I'm
but
afraid
that's okay. You can actually have it because I have all these twerkers back here.
Oh no, I
with
insist.
doing like
he's
plenty
got a
of,
foot massage. He's getting a manicure. and I don't know the way that one lady's on your lap. I don't know if that's even legal in here. I think you have to pay. I think you need, in order for me to watch that, I don't think I can serve alcohol. I think I need to bring my own. And I'm gonna leave you guys by
a tip for that.
Well, why don't you just go ahead and close the curtains on that situation?
I think that speakeasy window costs a quarter. Maybe $1 now, right? It doesn't just open with a doormat. You got to put $1 in.
99 cents a minute.
All right. Well, listen. I got to clear my palate. Scotty Lopez is here, the master of the ether space. Here we go. Let's clear our space. Everybody get up, stretch it out. This is the almost at the end of the show dance number. This is where you got to get up and stretch it out. I was Jimmy. It's in the Microcosmos, Aftermath.fm. Tune in, turn on, and find out. And that's right. To the left, to the right. Don't matter. It's all right. What you saying, Danny? Danny, you were about to...
You have a request for a link to the Nice video.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely get that for you. Stand by. Stereo MCs, step it up.
Can't stop my mouth from breathing or seeing what I see. Curves with destinations, poetic symmetry, your cause and information in my anatomy. Don't you see? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can send the forget me not. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'll still reach up to the top. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Until the last day that I drop. Yeah, yeah, yeah. To the left, to the right.
We got 33 people in the chat room over at in the private chat room. The only way you can get in there is to become a subscriber. And let me just say, even if you didn't listen to anything, even if you didn't care what was on there and you just wanted to be in there hanging with the cool people, man, take $5, divide it by 30 days, and figure out how much that is. Like 3 cents. You could go in there and bust my balls right now if you were a member, but you can't because you're on the outside. It's because it's the inside chat room. But you can go over to In the Microcosm with Jimmy G and Strike Zone. If you want to try to bust my balls, I'll be more than happy to accommodate you over there. It's In the Microcosm, Aftermath.fm, late night style, stereo MCs. It's like the late night get up and dance and stretch. Here we go. Let's get up and dance and stretch. There we go. Get the blood flowing. Here we go. All the way in the back. Hey, Rio, put some ice in that back. Put some ice in that back sink. I think we're going to have a party after the show over there.
We're going right around the clock. Yeah, yeah, yeah. To the left and to the right. Step it up, it's alright.
Danny, the mistress of the night time. Into the Microcosm adventure. Standing at the doorway that leads below. Are you ready to shout out the chat? Stand by. Let me stereo MCs. All right, you guys. GTFO, man. I'm gonna sick the parrot on your ass. All right, hold on, Danny. Don't let the parrot out, Jen. Danny, don't let it out.
For fuck's sake, no, don't let it out.
Don't let that parrot out. Leave the cowl on the cage. Go ahead. So,
Yes.
Are you gonna shout out our buddies, our friends?
I'm gonna
our
do it
pals?
now.
Okay.
We have braids. We have. Oh wait, I have an echo. Well, I'm gonna move through it. BS Tyne. You gotta tell me how to say that, Mr. Guy. Buckeye Irish.
Okay,
Chadwick Myers.
Listen. Let's establish a rule right now. If the name has a bunch of numbers in it and it doesn't, barely makes sense, and the dude put a bunch of letters and numbers because it's some acronym that means something to them, but it means nothing to you, you skip those names.
All right,
And
I'm
what-
gonna say B Stein from now
Okay,
on.
go ahead.
Yeah, Chris from the UK. I remembered still. Clayton 8460 DB12 Deep Citizenry. Dow Hat JD something like that. Foxito Freedom. HN Fitness. Who's your daddy? Jew. Jimmy Jean. JTFU 101. Jumper Freak 86. Massacre Moody. Mike Montavon. Mike 7171. Moose Girls in the house. Nepo. Rio. Robo Fish. Oh, that's clever. I like the spelling. Shifty. Solo Senior Low 1. Low 1. Sunspots. Sweeney. T-Bowed. That really, really weird chick. Unusual Danny. Way Cool Snoopy. And Will Call Magic.
Oh, sweet. Way Cool Snoopy's in there?
Yes.
That's excellent. All right, we're here with Scotty Lopez. Okay, here. I'm going to give out the number one more time. 626-999-4761. 626-999-4761. 626-999-4761. Now, I want to do my little piece for racial relations right now. So, white people, are you there? White people. Okay, listen. Check this out. This is Johnny Guitar Watson. You probably never heard of him. White people. Check it. You're going to love Johnny Guitar Watson. It's your way to cross over. It's the way to cross over, is it not? If you've never crossed over, listen, once you go black, I've heard that you never go back. And, there's a potential that once you start listening to Johnny Guitar Watson, you may stay there for a while because, somebody you might not have heard of him before, but we're gonna give you a moment to enjoy a little Johnny Guitar Watson. Danny.
I think I need to consult my favorite leftist politician and see if I should be offended.
Okay. Why don't you get on the horn? Okay.
Which one would that be? I'm curious.
Johnny Guitar Watson.
Can't get ahead, no way I try. Everything is out of pocket. Somebody do something. The present situation is abstract. Listen. Listen. I'm working 40 hours, 6 long days. And I'm highly embarrassed every time I get my pay. And they're working everybody, Lord, they're working poor folks to death. And when you pay your rent and your car note, you ain't got a damn thing left. Ain't that a bitch? Yes, it is. Somebody doing something slick. Yeah, they are. It's got me wondering which is which. Might as well go uptown and dig a ditch. Ain't that a bitch? Yes, it is. Now, ain't that a bitch? Let me tell you about my qualifications. I program computers. I know accounting and psychology. I took a course in business, and I can speak a little Japanese. Fuck's on. Got to work 2 years to get 1 week off with pay. And when I'm on my job, I better watch every word I say. Ain't that a bitch? Boy, somebody doing something slick downtown. It's got me wondering which is which. Might as well go uptown and dig a ditch. Ain't that a bitch?
He went down to the bologna section. Couldn't have believed them prices, man. Abdul-Jabbar couldn't reach them prices with a sky hook. Ain't that a bitch? You know it is. Mom's Jimmy sitting in the microcosm. It is late night style, and we got a few minutes left. I don't even. Let me take a look. We got 20 minutes left, basically, ladies and gentlemen. All right, everybody, come on in. It's time to gather at the Ring of Fire and throw in our last bits of wood.
And don't fall into that ring now.
No.
Gosh darn it.
It's a burning ring of fire.
I know. All right, so go ahead, Rio, since you stepped up to the plate, son. I see you got your arms full there with ladies on either side of you. So why don't you give me your final words, and then you can exit stage left, and we'll take care of business over here because, we wouldn't want to put ourselves in your way of having a good time. And I just got to say that the third place winner of the twerking contest has a giant ass, and you better watch out. She might snap you like a pencil, boy. But anyway.
That's right.
Go ahead.
It makes sound when it vibrates, man.
Who was that?
Oh,
Why have I not understood this before?
I'm not sure, but Scotty brought to the table the technology that you could actually detect the sound vibration off that giant ass as it vibrated.
Whoa, like make it clap kind
exactly.
of situation?
Exactly.
There you go.
Well, no, not the clapping, but you could, like, if you were whispering sweet nothings to the giant ass.
But imagine
the way that it ripples, right? The way that it ripples,
yeah.
It will
the way the cellulite, right? The way the cellulite jiggles would then put off a frequency.
I don't know nothing about no cellulite, but
Well, I wasn't talking about you specifically. I was talking about somebody.
No, of course not.
Yeah, no, but because Rio's leaving with the lady. I'm sorry, I don't know her name, but she does have a giant ass, Rio. So I'm
Nikki something.
I'm guessing.
Are you talking about Nicki Minaj?
Well, I know, but I'm guessing the lady that Rio's with ass is sticking up and out so good is because it's got that elasticity from the spandex pants she's wearing. But something tells me when the pants come off, man, it's gonna be like mackerel, and gravity is gonna take over. I would imagine the stench will be too much for anyone to bear, because you gotta breathe, ladies and gentlemen. I keep saying, commando. You gotta leave the spandex at home. Get out of the yoga pants.
Let it breathe.
That's
please.
what I'm saying. Let it breathe.
Words of wisdom. Let it breathe. Let it breathe.
All right. Who's coming to step up to the plate for the last bit on Spy Tech? I dropped the link to the nice system over in the chat room. So how about it? Go ahead. Go ahead, Scotty.
I'll step up and give some kind of some other examples of what's going on here.
Bring us back around to sanity, Scotty. Are you the voice of reason tonight? Bringing us back. Go ahead. Bring us back.
Well, Scotty, if you understand, the CIA's Dragonfly drones of the original ones in the 70s, I would like to understand their glass eyeballs. If you could clarify that, if you know what that is.
Glass eyeballs. I'm not sure exactly which, what's going on with that. I'll look into it though, because
I do, because I get what they're saying, but I don't get what the eyes are doing. The glass thingies. I need to know more.
Now I know that now is this something like a contact lens or something, or?
No, it was So I mean, it's not been like a secret for decades, but the glass little beads or whatever they call them, it was able to reflect light in a way that it was able to bounce laser beams, like lasers or whatever, infrared or laser, whatever they called it, back at the source of the light. But in that way, to be able to spy on whoever they were spying on. But how, that's the part I'm not understanding is, they had a flight time of like 1 minute, and they could deliver some sort of very small payload, like a itty bitty message. But how were they recording anything or and it's like the ones that, Russia's deliver some sort of very small payload, like a itty bitty message. But how are they recording anything how are the glass things? I don't remember the term they used. How are they using that to spy on someone?
Well, that kind of would probably make me think of them using some kind of a crystalline structure or whatever, because we know that crystal can store data and can hold data, right?
Well, yeah, the motor. I know the motor didn't have like moving parts. It was like a lithium crystal. It was like a lithium crystal.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And then I would assume that using lasers or something like that would probably be very similar to like maybe like fiber optic kind of optical sort of data transmission of some sort, much like the Starlink grid is going to be, that Elon Musk.
I had prime view of that at 10 o'clock last night, and it was cloudy. I'm so salty. I've seen it once already, though. So.
Well, I would say another example of this spying stuff to just show that like not even our own military is immune to it, because it's so pervasive even within the commercial sector and everything that I don't know if you guys remember the little embarrassing incident that happened with Strava Labs back in, I think it was like 2018 or something like that. But those Fitbits that you wear on your wrist, and it keeps track of your exercise and your heart rate and all of that stuff. Well, all of that data from the Fitbits are fed into this company called Strava Labs, right? And what they did was back in 2018, they put out this map Strava Labs put out this map, and they called it the global heat map. And what it did was it marked on the map basically everybody that's wearing a Fitbit and they're exercising,
Yeah.
right? So it was a map of all of the users. Well, unfortunately, some people zoomed into the map and noticed that there was a cluster of these hot spots in the middle of Iraq, in the middle of the
Oh,
desert.
that's interesting.
And what they were able to extrapolate from that was that there were military personnel wearing these Fitbits out at a secret base in the middle of the desert, and the Strava Labs unintentionally exposed the location of the secret military base.
Unintentionally.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Well, now you could just ask your wiretap to put one on your wrist and just give you the map. They're marketing them that way now, in a way of like, oh, let's go jogging. Here's this map. Never mind that you're being mapped. It's okay.
so it was so high resolution and so precise that they were even able to outline the perimeter of the base and gather enough information to where, if somebody wanted to attack that base or an adversary wanted to use that, they could have used that Fitbit data in order to do something. So, I mean, it just shows that not even our military can escape something like that, because
Well,
they're
yeah, and those VTech like kitty zoom watches, people were able to like hack into those because that's like, basic, and see where your kid is if they're wearing this watch. It's another like beacon. Like, here is this child, at all times. It's even worse than the Pokemon Go stuff.
Yeah.
Insane. I mean, who didn't have the foresight to realize that you're sticking that on a child?
Epic
but
Journeyman,
maybe they did.
Epic Journeyman, get out of the chat and come back over here to reality. And you need to jump in here with these guys on this, because this is an important aspect about what we're talking about. And I know you're distracted over there with all the chicks in the chat room, but go ahead, come back over here and do your job. We're almost out of here now. Don't worry.
But there's chicks in the chat room.
I know.
I got a handle on the chicks in the chat room, man.
All right. Yeah,
Why did they call them chicks to begin with? Because the older ladies were like old hens. They were
I
pecking.
think that's it. I do. I think that's what it is, from the old Looney Tunes cartoons and stuff. And they had,
But you're all just cocks.
Because they're always
yeah, but
chirping.
remember, what's his name? Rooster Coburn, not Coburn, that's John Wayne. Rooster, what's his face? But anyway, I say, right? And there's always the hen house where they're always gossiping.
Yeah. Why
Right?
can I not remember his name right now?
Foghorn Leghorn.
Foghorn
Yes.
Leghorn. There you go. Thank you very much. See, brain lock. They got me. See what I did? I said the wrong word. They zoned in on me. They got me, and now they snagged my tongue.
Yeah, all I
But-
got in my head was Yosemite Sam, and I knew better, so I didn't say it.
Right. No. Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's one of those things that it came out of that. It stuck. And I don't think they ever mentioned it in the cartoon, but I do think that's where it probably came from. And maybe perhaps W.C. Fields, right? My little chickadee, right? Something like that.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
then it became like a feminist target, because if you called women chicks, it was wrong. Danny, is it wrong to call women
Feminists
chicks?
drive me insane. I'm just
I
going
know.
to say.
I
Gonna be
know,
honest
but
here.
the thing about it is there's nothing feminine about a feminist. That's what trips
There
me
is
out.
nothing. It is utterly anti-feminism, anti-feminine to be a feminist. It's like
Over here, I went to a all lesbian poetry reading. I went to an all lesbian poetry reading because for some reason Santa Cruz is to lesbians what San Francisco is to gay dudes. For some reason, I'm not sure. But anyways, I went down to hear this reading, and it was funny because when I got there, everything that had to do with women was like women. It wasn't spelled WOMEN. They took out the E because they put a Y, so it's women. And it wasn't GIRL, it was GURL. It was a different way of spelling it. But the thing is with the women thing, it was like, we don't need no men in women. And like these poems, man. It was
I
like,
disagree.
I know. Me too. But, the thing about it is these poems, man, it was like, all men want out. I mean, basically, all men want out of a woman is a blowjob, somebody to do their laundry, and to cook dinner.
Oh my God. What's worse than a feminist is the term toxic masculinity. That makes me want to vomit.
It has a
Makes
musical
me want
quality
to
to it, though.
hurt somebody innocent and young, I don't know,
Well, the thing is,
a kitten. I want to stomp on a kitten when I hear. Oh, I wouldn't actually do
But
that.
the thing is, though, if you had no masculinity and you were out in the bush, if you were deep in the bush with no masculinity, at that point, you'd be lost without some sort of a directive or some sort of direction to go in, And the thing is, it seems that the female, the fairies are now in here and from the redwoods. They just came in. Yeah. So no, I mean, it's just there's some hard, just like there's hardcore there's extremists everywhere. Here in Santa Cruz, man. I'm just, my mom taught me to be polite. I'm a polite person, I'm a gentleman, and the thing is, like, when a woman's there and I, she's going in, I'm opening the door, but here in Santa Cruz, man, you open the door for a lady, you get this sour ass look. It's like, what do I need you to open the door for me for? It's
You're
like,
breaking the song, right? Your toxic masculinity.
You can take your toxic masculinity and go put it in a cry box. Okay, that's how I feel about that.
I know. Well, let me get your crying towel.
There you go.
Let me get you a crying towel. And hey, wait a minute. I'm gonna need to take your temperature too.
Better than the crying game.
My infrared is broken. I'm gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. Mom's Jimmy. It's in the microcosm. We're coming across the finish line. Scotty Lopez here tomorrow. He's gonna be on Freaky Friday, 4:00 Pacific. Just look for it on YouTube, Kev Baker channel. I think you guys are on the main channel, aren't you? Tomorrow, Scotty, over there.
Yeah. I don't know if we're gonna be streaming live on YouTube tomorrow or not. But we'll find out. But either way, we'll be broadcasting on the network mothership. But yeah, just Kev Baker and we'll be talking about the wonderful, and the wild.
We got a caller on the line. Caller, are you there? I don't know who you are. I think it looks like it says 37 something is your area code. What's your name? Who you are? Where are you calling from? Welcome into the microcosm.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey,
how are you? Yeah, it's you. How you doing, bro?
Oh, sweet, dude. No, 937. That's my area code. Anyway.
Hey, 937. What's going on?
Yeah. So I have a good story about all this spy tech, right? So
okay.
I asked the question about the smart dust earlier, and so I am a contractor.
Sweet.
And I work with the Air Force at
Excellent.
Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, right? So
nice.
I live by there. I witnessed something very strange. I videotaped it on a VHS. And it was like 2009. So VHS was still kind of out of date, right? But that's what I had available, and I grabbed it. And so I videotaped this swarm of what I would call nanobots. They were just basically black dots that I could see diving down to heat sources, right? And coming back up. And I saw that like several times. And then so I went and grabbed my camera. I was like, what the hell is this? So I went and grabbed my camera, filmed it, and then I saw, the typical black helicopter fly up. He flew up, got close to this swarm of these black dots. I mean, there was millions of them. I mean, It was crazy.
Wow.
So he got close to him, and the black dots started heading towards the heat source, which was closest to them, which was that helicopter. Helicopter headed out. Evasive maneuvers headed out, and the swarm kind of moved away from the helicopter and regained its composure, right? So then there was really nothing happening except for that thing sitting there. So I ended the video, right? My computer's down in my basement. I put the video camera down by my computer, went to bed upstairs. Next day, went down to go check it out. The videotape was laid all out on my floor.
No.
Totally rolled out, destroyed from that day on. And this is when, and I'm apolitical, and this is when Obama was president.
Right.
After that day, I was I was a TI until Trump became president.
Wow.
Right? I mean, and it was terrible. It was terrible. Like, I mean, constant crap, right?
Right.
Like I go to Meyer, and there'd be like 15 people hitting their car alarm at the same time, right? I go into Meyer, and there'd be the same kind of people just sitting there lounging around, just looking at me while I'm shopping. I mean, and I would see them at every store. It was freaking nuts.
Yeah.
And so.
And
I
you
mean,
know,
anyway, I wanted to get that out because
I
I've never
appreciate
told
it.
anybody that.
No,
I wanted to tell Clyde, but I wanted to tell you that. Hey,
we really appreciate it, man. And listen, just stay there for a second. So the thing is that when you saw these dots, were they like? Would you say it was something similar to a giant school of fish? Where they move and reacted. We only have 2 minutes left here on Aftermath.fm, but you stick around because we're still live and there's an after party going on. If you know where it is, so you stay here for a second, and I want to get your information because I'll pass your information along to Clyde and let him know what you saw, and they might want you to talk about it or something. So stick around. It's Into the Microcosm, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to give out your name. I'm sitting here with Scotty Lopez. What is it?
I'm a real dude.
I know. I believe you, man. I believe you totally. And what you're saying, it makes complete and total sense. And it's happened to a lot of people. We just had a girl on. We just did a show with a girl, and the same type of thing happened to her with something that she witnessed. And so somebody's slipping in and taking away something away from you, and it's the fact that it was on an actual videotape. Because now they could just bust into Scotty. They can just come in the back door of your computer and erase anything that you have on there if you've got any unsaved thing with your cell phone, just like they can remove.
They were all over my computer. It was terrible. I mean, I'm an IT guy and I worked for the Air Force, right? It was terrible. I couldn't stop it, and I knew they were right in my neighborhood, and I couldn't do a damn thing about it.
Well, we got 22 seconds left. Aftermath.fm, the home of the counterculture, the home of Into the Microcosm, the home of Clyde Lewis and Ground Zero. And we're going to shut down here on Aftermath, but we will see you. You know where it is. And we'll be back tomorrow night. We got a great show planned for you tomorrow night. There might be some postmodernism and some punks from the 70s. They were the original truthers.
Around the sun, the earth no cease revolving, and the rosebuds know to bloom in early May.
So you're in the chat room right over there, caller? Because what I'm going to do, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my email address in that chat room over there at Aftermath. And then if you want to, just set up some account or whatever that you can email me. And just email me just email me in the subject line. Email me in the subject line. Just say, new shoes or something in the subject line, and All right. I'll tell you what it is right now. It's JimmyGene27 at gmail.com.
All right, let me get into my email here real quick.
Yeah, no problem.
JimmyGene27 at gmail.com, right?
10-4. So what I'll do is after I get your email, I'll send it over to Ronnie. So that way.
Cool, Ron Patton.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Okay, bro.
I'm not saying that I wanted to be on Clyde's show. I didn't because it's risky for me to be there.
No, I get
It's
it, man.
not as-
No, we get
it's
it.
not as risky for me to be here.
We get it. No, yeah, no. Listen.
Totally get it.
Yeah,
It's
we
for
get
sure.
it.
And this is a story that I've been wanting to tell for like this happened since 2011, right? So Alana Freeman has been on Clyde's show, and she's talked a lot about this stuff, and I have
I know.
been chomping at the bit
Yeah, I
to
know.
talk to her, but I just can't do it.
I know her. So
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, she's all over this stuff, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and so, like, just if you got time, I'll just tell you. Like,
Yeah, no, we got
my
all the time.
question
We got all.
about-
Hey, bro, we got
about
all. Hey,
of this
we got all.
was
We got all the time in the
Cool.
world. So listen. We got all the time in the world. So just, you got the floor, bro, and I'm gonna sit back and light a cigarette and drink a little bit of coffee. I'm gonna hear what you have to say. Everybody else is here. Anybody on the
I gotta go see a lady about a llama.
Yeah, please do. And Phil, and if Danny, if you gotta go because it's too late or something, just let us know. And but I gotta see a man about a horse in a minute too. So when you come back, I'll let you take the reins, and I'll go see a man about a horse when you get back. And so, okay, caller, it's
Okay,
you
you're
got
back.
the floor, caller.
Is that code for something? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we're just trying not to be too rude.
You guys are killing me.
All right, so you got the floor. Go ahead.
No, so yeah, so this whole thing was just crazy. It was one of those deals where I was at the wrong place at the right time, and from there on, my life changed from 2011 to probably like until Trump became president. Like, it was terrible. It was like that whole time. It was non-stop harassment.
We had this whistleblower on who was an MK Ultra survivor, and she said exactly the same thing, that as soon as Trump came in office, it was like somebody flipped a switch, and she
Yep.
wasn't getting bothered anymore. So that's interesting correlation. Please continue.
Yeah, and I mean, there was some really crazy shit that I discovered with this stuff. Was I could feel it, right? Like, I couldn't sleep in my bed. It was like something coming up from below my bed, penetrating my bed, and making me feel like there was something under the bed. Like, I don't know. It was really weird, right? And so,
Epic Journeyman.
like, it was so.
Epic Journeyman could low vibrational or ELF be causing these kind of sensations on our caller?
100%. Yeah. You manipulate it in that frequency.
Yeah, I was exactly, after I looked into all this stuff, I was thinking exactly that this was an attack, right, with that kind of weapon. And that is exactly how I found Clyde, because I was like searching all over the internet for this stuff. Alana and Clyde, and like it all happened like in 2011, where I found both of them, and I was like, oh my God, somebody's actually talking about this shit, right? But I mean, I can't even explain like how bad the targeted individual part of it was, and I didn't even do anything, right? I mean, it was like all I did was film something weird. And my dad at the time, who has since retired as a civilian from the Wright Pat, he was working there still at the time when I was working there, and I was so freaked out, I called him over. Right? He worked in civilian engineering. He was like in charge of the flight field, right? So anytime any planes were landing, he had to make sure everything was good, the snow was gone, all that stuff. Anyway, I called him over and showed him what I was seeing, right? And what I was seeing was these black groups of small particles on the building moving around, and I showed him what it was, and he was like, I don't know what the heck that is. And then he just, he really didn't say anything else. and he didn't know what to say, you know.
So-
But I had to point it out to him because most people wouldn't notice it. Like, they just wouldn't notice it, and like it just looks like a stain on the wall. Okay, I pointed it out to him and I said, "Look at that for a little bit. Watch it. It's gonna move," and it did. And he was like, "I don't know what that is," and like he never mentioned it again. So, I mean, I don't know if it was alien. I think it was not ours, right? That's what I
So,
think, because they had people investigating it, and it was on the building, and it was doing shit. And anyway, that's my thoughts on it.
So I have a couple questions because there's a couple things that we didn't get the clear picture on. So one of it was what time of day was it exactly? Is it in the early evening, afternoon, at night?
It was the afternoon, right? I would say it would be it was not a clear day, a partly cloudy day at the time.
So you could see against the clouds. You could see the dark shapes against the clouds. They stood out against the clouds as you saw
which made it enhanced the vision of it.
Right.
Instead of being a clear day, right? The clouds made it more visible.
And
as I was driving home down the highway, I was watching this thing. Like, I was watching it because it was like it caught my eye. I was like, "What the hell is that?" And I'm driving home, and then I get home, and it's still there doing this stuff, like, and it was going down to heat sources, and I know that for other reasons. But that's what it was doing. It was going down to heat sources, coming back up in the atmosphere, and hanging out. I don't know if it was getting depleted again, and then coming down, and then going down to heat source. That's what it seemed to be doing, in my opinion.
It was at the Air Force Base to start. You were working. Which Air Force Base was it again? Your dad was at Wright-Patterson.
Yeah, I worked at Wright-Pat at the same time he did.
Okay, and this is outside Chicago. That's Wright-Patterson Airfield.
No, Dayton, Fairborn, Ohio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure where that was at. I was trying to get a bearing on where that was. So, but Wright-Patterson I've heard of many times relating to unexplained aerial phenomena. But yeah, so
exactly.
One of the things that was going on at that time, just to throw a fly in the ointment here a little bit, is that they were working on drone swarms. What you were saying, 2011?
Yeah.
About.
Yeah, go ahead.
So no, that's about the time frame that they were working on these drone swarms too, right? Where but these were little I don't even call them nano drones. The airplanes would fly and drop them as a weapon, and they'd form and they were programmed to operate together. And
right.
So. Yeah, they were classified, of course, at the time. We know about them now, but back then, this is like skunk work stuff. It's Lockheed Martin was working on them, among other companies, but that was like one of the main ones. And so it's conceivable that you saw something that you weren't, like most people aren't looking up at that time of day and certainly aren't filming it, you know, and then somebody who's seen them at the same time. So there's a possibility that it's just a matter of I won't say it's not any less spooky. It's still super spooky in the sense of it being classified spooky, right? Like they didn't want you to get that stuff out there. But
right.
I do think it's interesting too, like the year you described, like you say. So basically, you're saying 2017 it stopped, or did it stop like more in the middle of 2018, or what time frame? Because I don't think it has so much to do with Trump personally. Just my observation of this, it does have to do with somewhere around the end of 2017, 2018, because I'm seeing that happen with a lot of people, actually, related to some other things and other phenomena, too.
Really?
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I noticed.
Kind of
there she is. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Danny.
Who is this Brittany chick you're talking about? Is that Brandy?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
The names you're going to call me, Jimmy.
I know,
No, I
right?
didn't.
Andy.
I didn't call you Brandy. I didn't call you Brandy.
You almost called me Brittany, it sounded like.
I called you Daddy. I had it right. I learned my lesson.
Did you called her Daddy?
Daddy. Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy?
Yeah, right.
Excuse
Okay,
me,
so-
sir.
No, seriously. No, listen. So, come on in, Danny, and then that's great that you're here. I was gonna say something to you, but go ahead. I forgot what it was. But go ahead.
Well,
you were
know, when I was just new to your show here, I had that experience, And it's funny that he said that, you know, I didn't hear the whole conversation because, you know, I had to go talk to that llama, but if his experiences ended in 2017, that's sort of when mine started. So I just recently had one that was much more profound than any previous. So that was just a few weeks ago.
There was a distinct point when you noticed that the aerosol disbursement ceased along with what we're talking about here. A lot of people say that when Trump went in, that this targeted individual thing that happens to people stopped. So for people who were getting harassed for whatever reason while the Obama administration was in office, those things became less important when Trump was in office. The funding dried up, and the contractors went home because nobody was paying up anymore. So the thing is,
it's like he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna stop this, and
you know, I talked to a dude out. He was a gambler out of Vegas. You know, I've talked about this before on the show. He's a gambler in Vegas. They told him he was winning too much. They didn't want him coming back. And there was a vacant house next door. Some dudes moved in. He started getting electronically harassed. He never saw the people come back again in the house. He never saw anybody pulling in and pulling out. But he built himself an igloo out of 1 gallon water jugs that was 2 jugs thick, you know, and slept in there to get away from it. And then eventually he had to leave his house. So, I mean, this was a couple years ago, so obviously I saw this guy one time at Contact in the Desert, and he wanted to whistle blow to me, and I told him I didn't want to be part of his story, you know, so I didn't take on too much of what he was telling me. I only let him tell me the basic facts. I didn't let him
I don't
get
want
it.
to be part of those.
Right.
stories either.
Right. So, hey, Scotty, you want to jump in? You got any questions for the caller? Because, I mean, this is a kind of interesting thing. I mean, you're going to be on Freaky Friday tomorrow, and so maybe,
To
There's a
me,
lot more to this, by the way. Okay, go ahead.
well, I mean, you know, I initially started thinking about, well, you know, the same thing, you know, drone swarms and stuff like that. But then you also got to like take into account like a lot of those stories that you hear about the black goo, right? And, you know, talking about some kind of a nano substance of some sort, right? It's a goo made of nanobots. Now, I don't know about the abilities of said black goo. I mean, if it can fly or have the ability to like just disperse itself in like a cloud or something like that. But it definitely sounds like some sort of high technology that you witnessed that was moving around, you know, in a synchronized manner, right? I mean, just like you see flocks of starlings, right? You know, birds moving in synchronization and kind of flowing with each other as they're flying around. It sounds like these things were doing the exact same thing. Now, you know, what are they doing with these heat sources? Were they recharging themselves or using like this ambient heat to sort of continue to move, you know, operate? I mean, I don't know. I mean, who knows what this technology consists of? But then, you know, the fact that, you know, you saw what appears to be a military chopper, right, a black chopper or some sort flying over this would suggest to me that the military was observing this and they knew what it was, as opposed to like not knowing. So I'm kind of yeah, maybe they didn't know and they maybe dispatched a chopper out to investigate. I mean, that could be a possibility.
And that's what made me think. That's what made me think that this was really strange, because the maneuver that chopper did, it was buzzing up to that thing, and as soon as it was probably 300 to 500 yards away from the object, and it started going towards the chopper, and the chopper headed the hell out, like evasive maneuvers. So it was either aware or unaware, I don't know, right? But it knew that something was going to happen if it touched it.
Now after your experience and you started experiencing this targeting, if you will, did you have any strange people come up to you, or like I don't want to go with the whole men in black thing, but if it did happen, did you have anything like that?
There was no men in black, but there were people, right? There were people such as an old, like in the grocery store, an old lady at the lottery machine just turn around out of nowhere and ask me to help her, right? And she didn't need any help, right? I mean, so like it was almost immediate. And when I would go to the grocery, I would get out, I would turn my car off, and I am not kidding you, I would hear 15 horns. Like, you know, when people turn their car alarm on and the horn beeps, I would hear a whole bunch of them at the same time, and sometimes multiple times. Like, they wanted me to know, right? They wanted me to know. And I would go into the store, and I would see the same people just sitting there, like, you know, just looking at, like, cereal, right? And just acting like they're doing nothing, but I would recognize it was the same people. And it was so crazy because there was so many people involved in this thing with me. I mean, what the hell?
It's weird, man. It's really strange.
It was.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, what you witnessed was not meant to be witnessed, and they didn't want somebody to witness it. I think, and they kind of went along that whole intimidation, make you think you're going crazy kind of tactic until
exactly
like you said, they decided to.
For 3 to 4 years, it was terrible.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say.
I don't know either, man. I just wanted to tell somebody because it's been eating at me for a long time, and I'm telling you, that's how I found Clyde, because I was searching the internet for these quote unquote symptoms, right? And I found Alana, and then I found Clyde that was actually on the radio that I could listen to, and so that's how I found him, because of that. It was a
Scotty,
synchronicity, and I'm happy it happened.
Scotty's done a bunch of shows with Dr. Karlstrom and Kev Baker. So I mean, Dr. Karlstrom is somebody you can look up on the internet if you want to look up stuff about targeted individuals.
Yeah. Karlstrom has a lot of information when it comes to TIs and stuff like that. I mean, he really kind of breaks down a lot of the science and stuff behind it as well. And I mean, it definitely sounds like there was some kind of a frequency attack of some sort going on with you, especially like if you continuously felt like uneasy and always kind of felt this sense of like just feeling really,
my skin crawling. That's what I felt, and and any time I went to try to sleep, my skin would crawl. I even went to the ER, right? I went to psychiatrists. I mean, just to appease my wife. I knew it wasn't crazy. I knew something was going on. My wife thought I was, but you know, we're past that now. But anyway, that was one of those things that I couldn't. You know, I just had to appease people and go to psychiatrists, go to the ER, and there was nothing that would get rid of it. It was awful.
Yeah.
John Nelson in the YouTube chat says you should get into touch with Dr. Eric Karlstrom.
Yeah, that's who we were just talking about. I think
I thought you might have already said that, but I was reading.
It was funny. No, it was funny because.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was like a big old synchronicity, wasn't it?
It was, man. Yeah. John is always dialed in too, man. He'll like say a song when I'm already about to play it, and he like perceives that he requested it. But and it's funny, he just said Dr. Karlstrom right after we were talking about it here. So, Anyway, yeah, that's a good place to go. Go ahead, Danny. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to jump in.
Yeah, get a hold of Karlstrom, because I think he would be very interested in your case. And
Okay. Well, I think Alana would too, but I like I said, it's one of those things where this is a smaller audience. So, I'm not trying to, but I wanted to tell Clyde that I was afraid to, and I'm still not sure. I would not be a bit surprised if tomorrow the shit ramped up again, because every time I've even done any research or mentioned it, it's, and
Yeah, same with me.
besides when Trump was in office, it was just awful. I mean, I got rid of my personal computer. Like, I haven't
So what if
had
you
one
stopped
since
thinking about it
2011,
in
and
terms
I'm
of
an
Trump?
IT guy. I'm sorry, what?
What if you didn't think of it in terms of, who's the president? If you could
Then
think
would
about
be
it
a
outside
severe
of that.
coincidence. No, so I'm apolitical, right? I mean, I don't like. They're both. All suck. It's either
Right.
turd sandwich or douchebag, right?
Or warmed over cat litter sandwich. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So I'm just telling
So
you.
you're just using that as like a
familiar
frame
time
of
frame for
time, like a
everyone.
reference of time, right then.
Yeah, so that's the frame reference that I can give everyone that everybody's familiar with.
Okay.
And it's
So you don't
an
think, like,
apolitical
Trump,
reference, but that's just the way it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So like I was saying, I had a major experience recently, but it's 4:23 a.m. here where I'm at, and Scotty, I don't know about you, but you've been,
They
awesome.
moved 3 minutes past 4:20.
Hey,
So are you
Scotty,
tired?
she was trying to find out if you wanted to if you need to take off or whatever. If you're getting tired, let us know, and you got to go. 'Cause-
I'm about to be heading out.
Okay,
but-
bro.
Night time.
Yeah, so why don't you thanks for coming, Scotty. Man.
No, thanks for inviting me. It
Hell
was
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm totally down for doing it again.
Okay,
If,
cool. Yeah, you'll be back for sure. I'll get a hold of you and we'll figure it out. Maybe you can come back on a regular basis, like you do on Kev's show. You can just pop
Sweet.
in. Yeah,
That would be awesome.
yeah, man.
Would be
I have a
awesome.
lot of
Thanks,
UFO
Scotty.
stories of my own.
Well, check
With
this
video.
out. Check this out. I sent you Stardust Ranch. Bruce McDonald gave me the PDF. I sent it to you. On Monday, we're gonna have the author of Stardust Ranch and the guy that owns Stardust Ranch. This isn't Skinwalker Ranch. It's Stardust Ranch. And if you're into this stuff, man, if this is your thing, if you guys like UFOs and stuff, man, if you guys, I'm telling you, come back Monday.
I don't like UFOs. They just like me.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if it's a subject matter that interests you, come back Monday. Danny's going to be reading that book, and then she's going to be talking to the actual dude who owns the ranch, man. So, and Bruce McDonald.
I've got my own UFO experiences to share. My mom's got some UFO experiences. So I'm in.
Badass. All right. Well, we'll make a date. And we'll come back and hang. Mom, really appreciate it. It was a great show, man. Great info, Scotty, man. You kicked ass, bro.
All right.
Seriously.
Catch you guys later.
Right on, man.
All right.
All right, bro. We'll check you.
All right, take care. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
bro.
There he
Later.
goes.
Good night,
Later.
man.
There goes Scotty Lopez, the maestro of the ether space, man.
Ether is my favorite thing in the whole wide world. Darn it.
Damn. If only I could box it
Leave
up.
it to ether.
If I could only box it up and send you some, I would.
Don't fear the ether.
There you go. I like that better. We need more cowbell.
Ding, ding, ding. Oh, God. That's going to be in my head for days now, damn it.
All right. Well, we still have a caller on the line, and there's still 28 people in the chat room over at in the Microcosm of Jimmy G. So I don't know how long you guys want to continue. I'm down to continue, but you must realize that I don't have a mic stand for a reason. So, but since I don't, there's one thing that makes it inconvenient. I can only use one hand at a time. So this is a two-hand job, and I need to put the mic down. So, put the mic
Go
down.
back to that one-handed typing for a little while.
Yeah, well, I mean, I need both hands for this action that I'm about to get into over here. Because,
I don't even want to know what that means.
I know. Well, don't worry. I won't, expand on it, but let me just say, I'm just gonna smoke some weed, but I need to use my lighter and my pipe in the same time. So, hey Jose,
What I've been doing.
hey Jose, what's going on? Hey, Brian Williamson's here. What's up, Brian? I wonder if that's the dude from the news. Hey, Brian, are you the dude from Brian Williamson, the black dude from the news? I don't know. But Brian Williamson's over there. Smurfer girl, you're in the chat. Let's see who else is over there. Renee's there. What's going on, Renee? Alex, what's up? Buonasera, Alex. Bello. What are you doing, man? You drink it? He doesn't drink espresso, so he's not having coffee. I know that. So
I think Alex should call the number.
I know, Alex. Call in 626.
I mean, like, come on.
Yeah, Alex, 626-999. 4761 626-999 4761 626-999 4761. You got to say it 3 times so people won't remember it. Just so you know, if you're ever shouting out the number.
Beetlejuice, like that.
Like that.
One of those things.
Exactly. And that's when I
couldn't do it.
When I'm sending good prayers your way, I say your name 3 times.
That was good.
I know. You were having a deja vu yesterday. That was weird, huh? Because we were talking about something, and then you talked about it, but we hadn't talked about it with you. It was me and Rio were talking about something. Is Rio still here?
Oh.
I don't know.
Rio.
He's. I think he fell out, man.
He's outie.
Well, what do you guys say? I think it's time to go.
It's about that time. Yeah,
I think
it's
so
about that
too.
time, I
Yeah.
guess.
It's about time. It's about space. It's about
We're going to
timeline.
work on that 2017-18 thing, I think, because there is a lot to that.
You know what I want to?
I think so.
Yeah.
You know what I want to wonder? What I'm about to wonder is this. I was thinking about it the other day because I got this baby crib here and this doll carriage that's an antique. And I'm thinking about it, and I thought to myself, wait a minute. Pretty soon, dolls in and of themselves are not going to exist. Because they used to have these babies, and they would train girls how to be mothers by, putting these like fake stoves and baby dolls and all this. Well, in the future, they don't want you getting pregnant. Nobody's going to get pregnant, and nobody's going to have to know how to deal with babies. I bet you dolls.
Just incubators.
I bet you dolls.
I mean, we can still do that. We don't even need you guys around anymore for that shit.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you don't need us around for that. You don't need us around for conversation because we're from Mars and you're from Venus, and or something like that, or the other way around. I don't know, man. But the thing is like nobody knows how to please another person except for the person that's just like the other person. What can you say? I mean,
the anatomically correct male dolls are all the rage these days. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I would imagine they would be. But
So even the ones who are, ghetto fabulous, like hooker style, like those LOL dolls.
Uh-huh.
I've not seen those.
Fishnets and like no underpants. I mean,
well,
commando, but not on the kids, please.
Well, the thing.
I just had this terrible thought about pulling the string and how they go. Like the baby dolls go mama, and the other ones they say some little quip, for the girl dolls.
The
I
thing
just thought when you
is,
pull that string, something rises. Right? You pull that string.
The thing is people don't realize that this is all part of a master plan, because at first there used to be no condoms, then there was condoms. So then women sexually got used to having this piece of rubber, all right, instead of the actual. And then once the piece of rubber was realized, then really you could just remove the man altogether and just put a representation of the erectile, So point being is real men can never last as long as a sturdy piece of rubber.
And they're not hung like Ken anymore.
That's right. I mean, yeah, seriously. So I have this picture. It's the style of pubic bush over the years, and it's showing this year.
Wow. Does that even exist anymore? Is it like real? Is it a thing?
It is a thing, but this picture is funny because there's like 5 of them. It's like 1960s, 1970s, 80s, 90s, each style. The landing strip, the full bush, and then when it gets to 2021, it's good. There's a cock.
Oh my god. Okay, there was a step between that, sir. I promise you.
I swear, man, it's some funny shit. I'll put that up on.
You must have missed that decade. Okay.
So you're telling me when it's like, it's a reverse evolution,
You're
right?
hurting my brain.
They start on all fours and they work up and they stand up, right, and they start going down again, regressing. You're telling me it's because of the weight, right? It's regressing.
Could have been.
It just ends up. The man goes into the dirt, and then all that's left is just that one representation. The represented, Odin or whatever it might be of Osiris, right?
Osiris. Exactly.
What were we talking? My face is burning.
It's evolution.
You're hurting my psyche.
See,
Not
that's
really.
See, that's the thing. Whenever you hang out with Jimmy, your face hurts afterwards.
My face is on fire. Okay, composure.
Well, on that note, there's nothing we can do that will ever be better than hearing you laugh like that. I must say.
No, you can't beat that.
No, and so with
I'm like 30 seconds from like crying.
listen, I never got a chance. This song, I was gonna play this song tonight, but I couldn't find my window. So because of that, the fairies are calling me now. I must go. I must retire to the toadstool below, back from whence I came. The Specials, Ghost Town.
All the clubs are being closed down. This place is coming like a ghost town. Bands won't play no more. Too much fighting on the dance floor.
Maybe this should be our ending song from now on. Maybe we should end.
I like it actually.
Me too, man. Maybe we should end our aftermath show with that song every night, man. Let's take another listen, Danny. Let me get Danny's opinion. Here we go.
I liked it.
Here we go.
This town is coming like a ghost town. All the clubs are being closed down. This place is coming like a ghost town.
Because when we leave, it'll be a ghost town. There won't be nobody left because it's, I think it's reruns of Bill Cooper that happen.
Oh.
Right on, Sean Rakes, new subscriber. We got a new subscriber. Hey, the dude from Rundown Live, he was on the other night, on Tuesday night. Remember the Giant show?
Yes.
No.
You weren't here that night.
Kristan Tijeras. Yep.
Yeah, he's on Aftermath now. So he's going to be the morning guy Monday through Friday.
Nice.
Yeah, he's cranking it, man. And he's funny, man. The dude is funny. He woke up the next morning. He was so tired and worn out from being on the show. And I happened to be up at 9, so I tuned in, and he's like, yeah, man, I was on Into the Microcosm last night. It was Billy Ray Valentine. He called me Billy Ray Valentine, man. I was like, I sent him a message in Skype, man. I was like, are you fucking brain dead, dude? And he's laughing. I just made a bunch of funny faces and shit. It was funny. All right, let's get going then, eh?
I like the outro music.
Me too.
That works.
Me too.
It's got the kind of supernatural flair, but it's also upbeat.
It is, and you know what?
Nightlife-ish, yeah.
You know, there's another song here. Hang on.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Time to go.
Okay. There's another song though. Hold on. That if I opened up with this song, it would close with that song every fucking time. Be pretty smooth. Hang on. Lakeside. I think it's Lakeside. Let's go. I'm ready to go right now. I'm going. This is the song we're leaving with, so let me just go. Here we go. Listen to this bitch right here.
Replace your notebooks and...
Don't listen to that bitch, but listen to this bitch right here. Hold on. Hold on. Here you go. Ready? All right. Here it is. So we start the show like this. Okay. We'll start it like this. Ready? And a 1 and a 2.
Open Sesame!
My name's Jimmy. It's Aftermath FM. It's Friday night. See, that's all kick-ass and exciting. We're coming in, and then when we leave, we're burnt, we're tired, and we're on our way out, and we're just like, my name's Jimmy. It's Aftermath.fm. We've been here for 2.5 long hours, and now it's time for Danny's foot massage.
Better have some good lotion.
Let me tell you, I got some good lotion. It's got some good vitamins.
Oh,
It's got vitamins.
I set myself.
It's a motherfucking ghost town. This town. It's a motherfucking ghost town.
Now you can with low fares, the flexibility and new destinations.
As long as I have a face, you have a place to sit.